Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It's a lovely day, isn't it?
Shout out to the chess club.
Sure is.
I'm vibing.
Hello. Welcome. I'm glad to have you. Yeah, we normally don't stream on Tuesdays at all. Normally these are the days where I'm making videos and busy, but with stuff that is more behind the scenes. But today I was like, you know what? The God of War DLC thing launches today. I'm gonna play it for a video. Why not just like stream us trying it? Because normally for like these types of things, there's like a little bit of early access and you can't stream anything during early access. So it's like, okay, well, I'll play it and then I guess we'll talk about it after the fact. But in this case, it's releasing at the same time for everybody. So I'm like, yeah, we'll just try it. Why not? We'll try it. Wet Donkey. Thank you, my friend, for the 10 months. The world needs a Luke 4-hour BG3 video. I've like done outlines and stuff. And I think if I were to do the kind of video I normally do, it would be a whole hell of a lot longer than 4 hours. I'll tell you what, like we did that discussion on the stream yesterday of that clip going through some stuff that really shows how good Baldur's Gate 3 can be. And that clip was 2 minutes long and the video of us talking about it is like 15 minutes. And that's for one little section of one little quest. And that's it. Like, if I wanted to go through and do a deep dive of everything in the game, I don't know if I would do anything for the next 2 years. Like it'd be crazy. Straw Hat, thoughts on the Completionist? I'll be honest, I've not paid enough attention to it. Like I see the occasional post of people mentioning it and the drama with it. My understanding, which could be mistaken, is just that he was heavily implying that donations were coming in and being applied and sent off to charities, when in reality the donations came in and then just stayed in. And then there was also a case where he said that all the money that comes into this stream that you donate is going to go to these charities, and then later says that it was actually all the profit. So just, it's the difference between me being like, you donate $1 to the stream, $1 goes to charity, when in reality I'm like, well, I have to pay myself and my editors first, and then I'll pay the charity. So like little stuff like that I think is fair to be like, at the very least, that was very sloppy language. I don't know the first thing about charity fraud though, so I'm not gonna hop on any bandwagons or anything. At the very least, it seems weird that the donations weren't made in a timely manner, but and I don't know why or what the excuse would be for not, but who knows? Who knows? Adrian, thank you for becoming a member. Shit happens the day before developers. Yeah, dude, they've just totally given up. They're just like, yep, shit happens, man. I don't know what to tell you. Me standing up from the couch watching stream waiting for download to complete. Blubbers. This is supposedly an epilogue, so maybe there's some story there. Posture. Yeah, apparently. A bunch of people on Twitter were talking to the devs and were like, well, I was really excited for a DLC, but you know, it's just a roguelike, so I don't think I'm gonna try it. And the devs came back and were like, no, to be very clear, there is a story component to this. It is an epilogue. It's not just a straight up like it actually has something to do with the story. Okay, it's not just a raw mode. For some reason that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Copy chat and then paste the chat. YouTube chat doesn't want to work. Refresh cache. Odd. I don't know why YouTube chat is not popping up on screen. That's really weird. I haven't seen that before. It's never done that. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know. Huh. Yeah, E3 is also officially shut down now. That was, I mean, we all knew Like, that is not news to anybody, but it still sucks that it's official now. Like, we all saw it coming. We all knew it was happening, but it's official. They're not even going to try anymore. What are you going to do? Oh yeah, also allegedly, current resolution is set to recommended resolution, current resolution. Oh, weird. The PS5 is outputting 1080p apparently. What? Please hold while I adjust settings on this, because apparently our display settings are set to 1080p, which is weird. Yeah, close the app, restart, that's odd. Anyway, but yeah, so apparently Insomniac got hacked. That's what at least the hackers, alleged hackers, are claiming. And they're saying that they hacked in, they got a bunch of data related to the Wolverine game, and then they also say that they have a bunch of data on people that they've previously employed, including actors like Yuri Lowenthal. They've gotten private information about him. I don't know if this is the case or true. I think we'll find out in the coming day if Insomniac responds to it. But yeah, it's very strange that this is happening. Sony has had really bad luck with hacks, you know? It's too bad. Is Luke using the Pro controller? Yeah, they sent it to me for free, so I feel like I have to. It does, like, it's built better than the standard. I just think it's ridiculous to spend $200 on this. Like, is it better than that $70 controller? Yeah, probably by like $30, but it's not $130 better, you know? Today, I finally watched some clips on Mr. Caleb Hammer's Chammer after hearing about him here. What can I say? It's simply amazing. Yeah, dude, for real. Yeah, dude, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh, now there is a Valhalla setting.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
God of War Valhalla. So it's there. It's there, baby. It's there. But anyway, it's yeah, it's just Caleb Hammer I find very entertaining. And he did that 2-hour breakdown with Boogie, which I thought was pretty good. Like, I think it was fair. Boogie's like, hey, I'm a disabled felon. And if you Google my name, you get a lot of pretty horrible stuff that pulls up from trolls. Most of which is, like, there's a lot you can say about Boogie, but, like, he's not, like, a child, a chimo, you know? He's not that. So, I can understand why he's like, I think getting a job for me right now, a standard job, is probably not going to work. I do understand that. I do get that. I have a friend that had a felony on his record from shortly after he graduated high school. He made a very stupid mistake trying to, like, transport stuff for his friend across state lines. Just being a dumbass. And as a result, he got convicted of a felony, and it was eventually expunged after, like, the probationary period or whatever. And he went to the judge and was able to say, look, I got my life together. Please expunge this so it doesn't ruin my life. And the judge did it. But in the meantime, when he had it on his record, like, he couldn't work anywhere. They didn't even want him at the Walmart, like, distribution center or any of these places that are, like, behind lock and key where you're never customer facing. It's pretty tough, I think, to exist if you've got that stuff on your record. Are you playing anything on Steam Deck at the moment? Not on my Steam Deck, just because I have the ROG Ally that is working better for me. But last night I did play a bunch on my ROG Ally of Dredge. I dredged that up again and started playing through that. Luke has Luke, one has to go. The Witcher 3 or Baldur's Gate 3? I mean, honestly, I think The Witcher like Baldur's Gate 3 is a much bigger game. So if it was like Deserted Island and you had to pick one to play forever, probably Baldur's Gate 3, just because there's so much there. I have the Legion Go, and let me tell you, I do not utilize the Switch like Joy-Cons. Yeah, that's one thing where, like, that they focused on that being a big selling point. I don't get it personally. I find this way more comfortable, but I do know some people I think it was actually Boogie. Boogie was saying when he was at his heaviest that he would sit and play games and he needed the Switch controllers disconnected because like his belly was so big, it was uncomfortable.
Is
So he'd
now
play
a
like
red
this.
flag. Any critiques in the works? Has been rewatching the older ones but needs something new for the dopamine hit. Lol.
Goodness, appreciate you. And yes, I do think over Christmas I'm gonna force myself to play a lot more Starfield. Like so much of everything I would say about Starfield has already been said, but I want to do sort of a more analytical thing where we're going to pull up the spreadsheets. We're going to show like statistically why this doesn't work and just try to remove any semblance of question about it. Baldur's Gate 3 is just so freaking huge. I'm not even sure where to begin with it. Like, I don't even know where to start. So that one I'm going to be pondering because I could like work away at it, but no matter what, there will always be something in that game that I didn't talk about because there's just so much, and that bugs me because I like talking about everything. So yeah. How big is his belly? At his heaviest, I think it was like 15 or 5, not 15. I think he was like 550 or 560 or something like that. But he's short. He's like 5'8" or 5'7". So it's like, that's like 600-700 pounds on a 6 foot person, you know? I'd recommend you watch the Nakey Jakey video about Starfield and outdated Bethesda game design. I did see people tweeting about it. I haven't watched it yet, but I probably should. Because honestly, if he goes through everything and just says everything I would say, I like, what point is there of me making a video just kind of going over the same stuff? I feel like it's all, at this point, so much of the discourse around Starfield is just like, yep, it's the same kind of game they've been making for 15 years, and we keep hoping that they evolve and change, but they just don't, you know? Luke, why do you want to ruin your Christmas by like Starfield? Yeah, well, that's a fair point. Maybe I did just start playing Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, which if you're interested in Baldur's Gate 3-like games, it is a CRPG set in the Warhammer 40k universe, and it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. It's not like as varied as Baldur's Gate 3, but as far as like a CRPG in the world of Warhammer, it's very good. Let's see. Hey, Skeptical Luke. Can you tell, is screen tearing a game's fault or hardware fault in PS5? And if it's the game's fault, I will replace, or will I experience more in the PS5 future? It can be either, honestly. Like, it's screen tearing at the end of the day is a mismatch between the timing of sending frames to a display and the display trying to display that number of frames. So if you have it set at like 60 hertz for the display's refresh rate, and then basically every 60 times every second, the screen will refresh and change and check for new frames, unless you have an extra tech like VSync or like adaptive sync or something like that, G-Sync enabled. So if the timings aren't precise, one frame is going to be basically half out the door while the other one is half in the door, and so you're going to get that screen tearing where it's mismatched and the frames aren't lining up properly. So sometimes it's the game's fault. Assassin's Creed Valhalla had that issue at launch. It had horrible screen tearing on consoles, and they eventually fixed it, but it was a problem with the game. Other times it's more a mismatch between the hardware of your console and the display, but I don't think it's ever like the PS5's fault or the Xbox's fault. Every time I've ever seen it, it's a mismatch more between the game and the display. So before you go trashing your PS5 or Xbox, it's probably more likely that it's a TV or display issue than anything else. Can you even say Valhalla normally anymore? Not really, dude. To me, it's second nature now. I did in one of like the main channel videos, I said it. I didn't even think about it. Okay. I didn't even think about it. I just said it. And then somebody in the comments was like actually pissed and was like, how could I take anything Luke says seriously? He can't even pronounce Valhalla right. It's like, okay, that's funny. It's like when we did the Hogwarts Legacy videos and I kept calling the Merlin trials, I kept calling them different things. So like I called them the Morbin trials or the Morden trials or the Morgan trials. And I kept like, every time I'd reference it, I'd use a slightly different word. And there were people in the comments that were like, okay, I paused the video, I have to say this. Am I going insane? Like, it sounds like he's saying it differently every single time. And then at the end, you know, we reveal, lol, got you guys. But yeah, some people did not, I guess, stick around that long to see. You know, it's just funny. It was pretty funny. Morgan Freeman trials. Yeah, yeah. Started playing Baldur's Gate 3 for the first time since it came to Xbox. Never played a game like it before. Absolutely amazing. I have it saved with a friend, and my solo build is the Dark Urge 6+ hours in. Oh, and just you wait. Just Act 1 is around 30 to 40 hours in of the game. Like if you do everything in Act 1, it's about 30, 40 hours. So what's crazy, and this was what was really crazy during the review period, Act 1 was available in early access. Acts 2 and 3 were what were locked and what they were working on for the last few years that they didn't give public access to. So when the game officially dropped in August or whenever it was, like it was one of those weird situations where the first 30, 40 hours of the game, we had all, if you had played, you had already seen. And so it was like, normally for review, like you get through the 35 hours and you're good to make the review now. Okay, you played the game. For Baldur's Gate 3, like that was just basically the prologue. That was just catching up to where we already were, basically, which was very, very unique. Very strange situation. Did you see the PS5 Pro leaks? I wasn't sure if they were confirmed. Does anyone know if they were confirmed? I don't know. I don't know how to get into Baldur's Gate at all. Same thing with Elden Ring. Well, and that's the thing, 10Q, like it might not be for you, and that's totally, totally fine. Like not every game is for everybody. That's okay. You know, it's, I think one of the dangers with games that get universally acclaimed, like a Baldur's Gate or like an Elden Ring, that are very, they're in their niche, but they are fantastic in their niche. So if you're a fan of RPGs like Baldur's Gate or, you know, Soulsborne games like Elden Ring, you know, Elden Soulsborne games, I guess at this point, you're going to love them. But if you hate those types of difficult combat games, action RPGs, you're going to hate Elden Ring. It's not going to magically change your mind. You know, it's just, it's like if you hate driving a car, driving an Aston Martin is probably not going to magically change your mind. It's going to be like, yeah, this is a very nice car. I still don't like driving a car. Same with like bicycles. You can drive or ride a $10,000 bicycle, and I'm sure it's a great bicycle, but you're going to be like, yeah, I still don't like riding bicycles. Like, it just doesn't matter to me. I, for one, like, I cannot stand gin. Gin, like, if I smell it, much less taste it, it makes me nauseous. I just cannot stand gin. It doesn't matter if I have a very nice gin or the best gin in the world. I'm still just not going to like gin. It's just not for me. And with RPGs that are super, super intense or action RPG games, they can be amazing. But if you don't like them, that's okay. Nothing's going to magically change, you know? BSK Hallog, I'm glad to hear it, my friend. Got to get on that grind. Ooh, baby. Michael, thank you for the kind words. Did you see that Kojima's OD is a PT revival? I've seen the theories about it because the door is like, it looks very similar to the door in the PT opening, like menu, whatever you'd call it. So a lot of people are saying that it's going to be just PT rebooted, but they're also saying it's not a game, but it's also not a movie, but it's kind of a blend of the two. I don't think Kojima even knows what that game is supposed to be. All I know is that that trailer they showed off was one of the worst trailers I've ever seen for anything. So I don't even know what to make of it. Like, trailers are supposed to make you more excited for that thing and give you information. I'm more confused as to what the game is after that trailer. I have no idea what he's talking about. And then they gave him 10 minutes. Sorry, let's not be hyperbolic. I think it was officially like 7 minutes and 22 seconds or something. But they gave him 10 times the amount of time that everybody else had, even the Game of the Year award winners. They gave him 10 times the amount of time they had on stage, and they still couldn't explain what the game is. And at that point, I'm like, okay. We bashed the day before guys for not being able to clearly answer what the day before was going to be. But with Kojima, it's fine because it's Kojima. Like, come on. Come on. Bart Moss, he's doing great. He's been off oxygen 2.5, going on 3 days now. And his oxygen levels are great. So I think he's officially on the other end. He still has some crud. He still has a cough and stuff, but we all kind of do. But he's doing great. Yeah, he's come out the other side, thankfully. So thanks for asking. He's doing great. Turbo, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. OD versus the day before. Yeah, at this point, we know a heck of a lot more about the day before. It's just like, I know what we're doing. Yeah, Chris, like, to be clear, I'm not saying that OD is going to be another day before situation. Like, of course, Kojima has a reputation and a very capable team of developers behind him. So I'm sure OD is going to be like a decent horror game. My thing that I get frustrated with Kojima on is that everything he does, he describes as like a new genre, as groundbreaking, as totally different, when in reality, it's like, oh no, it's just a game where you run around delivering packages. Okay. Like, that's all it is. But he's like, no, Death Stranding is a new genre of gaming. It's like, no, dude, it's not. It's just not. Like, and when his sycophantic fans try to back him up on it, they just end up looking insane, you know? I don't know. Did you guys see the letters in the mouth of the OD trailer? I saw that. I don't buy it, honestly. It just looks like an old dude's cracked tongue. Have you seen the Griffin gaming review on Avatar? I have not. When Kojima said it's going to be like a movie and a video game, but that's been like his past few games already. Right. Like, does that mean it's going to have long cutscenes that are very long and expose all the story that way? Or does it mean that it's going to be like an interactive movie, like that Silent Hills, what was it, Ascension, like mobile game that they launched? Whatever it is. I can't remember what it's called. So who knows? Do you think Spider-Man 2 was robbed at the Game Awards show? Personally, I don't think it was robbed, just because, like, yeah, it was nominated for 7 things, but each individual category to which it was nominated, I think there were other games in that nomination list that just frankly did it better. So, like, it's not a diss to Spider-Man. Oops, sorry. It wasn't a diss to Spider-Man. It was just simply saying that I think Spider-Man was just in a year that was extremely packed, and it just wasn't quite as good as some of the other amazing games that were out there. It's not that Spider-Man is bad. It's just that there were some amazing games out there. Just because something's nominated doesn't mean that it deserves to win over everything else that was nominated. It just means that it's in the running. Like, yeah, this is also, it has the potential to win. It's very, very good. We're going to nominate it, put it up there to be considered. But it doesn't mean that it automatically should win an award in a category it wasn't necessarily the best in just because it got more nominations. It's just not how it works. Hogwarts Legacy had nothing. Yeah, the fact that Hogwarts didn't even get a nod for music, I think, is laughable. I think that's just hilarious. It was pretty clear that they were trying to, you know, gaming journalists don't like touching a political hot potato like that. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Let's see. South of Midnight. Yeah, that'd be super cool if we get that by the end of the year. Thoughts on the Elden Ring DLC? Well, the producer came out and said that it is still coming, but it is a little further. I think he said it was still early or it was still far away. Basically, he said that it's not ready to come out in like a month or two. And that's why we didn't see it at the Game Awards. So I would guess it still comes out next year, probably later in the year. Maybe we see it revealed in the spring at like PAX East, I think it is. Maybe, but who knows? Who knows? It is odd that they're just not saying anything about it. Ninja Orange, Mad Max. You won't see me complaining about Mad Max. I love me some Mad Max as well. It's very good. Let me catch up real quick on super chats and subs and stuff. I'm a little behind. I take Yokes. Gifted a community sub over on Twitch. Thank you, my friend. Also, when we were off stream, oh baby, Andy Dave. Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Andy Dave donated $10. Thank you for the content, buddy. Keep it up.
I will. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Thank you for the tip. Also, before we were streaming, Tony the Dealer subbed over on Twitch, so shout out to him for that. And then on YouTube, we have some members and stuff. Let's see. Adrian, thank you for becoming a member. Spider, thank you for the super chat. In celebrity charity, any payments of millions are usually paid out over several years due to tax reasons. Don't know if applicable here. Yeah, I've heard of that just for tax reasons. Like, one of the reasons you do like charitable contributions is not just to feel good and to do some good, but also because if you say made a crap ton of money, if you donate to a charity, it offsets your taxable income. That's why they say like, oh, is this donation tax deductible? If the answer is yes, it means that you can reduce your taxable liability by that amount, which can give you all sorts of advantages. It's why, like, if there's somebody that's really, really wealthy that loves, say, a certain type of art, or maybe they love, I don't know, like a certain museum, or they love going to the museum, they'll donate a ton of money to that museum over the course of a few years to reduce their tax bill, which helps them out. And then they also get like their own private wing of the museum named after them. And then they get all of these special accolades, and, you know, it's named after them, and they can come into the museum whenever they want, and they get invited to all the galas and stuff. And so they actually get some perks of it. So for that, I mean, whenever you see a celebrity or like a very, very wealthy person donating to charity, you always just have to remember that there's usually a little bit of give and take. It's not always just like a straight benefit for the charity and nobody else. Like, there's always a little bit of something. The only exception would be if somebody's like donating anonymously to a non-tax advantaged organization, but I don't know why you do that. Any legitimate charity is going to have tax advantages, because that's how you get more donations, right? Let's see. And Kimbus, let's see, I read that one. Spider, thank you again for a super chat. Baldur's Gate 3 has more replayability than Starfield because BG3 is not afraid of choosing a path, locking you down from another path, increasing unique experiences. Well, it's also just Baldur's Gate is a narrative RPG. Starfield is not. Like, and Bethesda doesn't really make narrative RPGs. And I think that's the biggest misconception with Bethesda games, is that people think that they make narrative RPGs and then they're shocked when they're terrible narrative RPGs. They don't. They haven't, like, ever. They make sandboxes. They make a different thing. Like, Skyrim even is not really a narrative RPG. You can just walk up to the College of Magic and become like the head of the school in an hour. That doesn't make any sense at all. But they let you do it because that's what's fun. You know, it's about playing like a 10-year-old in your backyard. That's what Bethesda games are really good at. Just letting you go have escapist fun that's not that serious. And in that capacity, it can work really, really well. But Baldur's Gate 3 is a different kind of thing where it's trying to be a really intense RPG and do that first and foremost. And it's great at that. But they're just different kinds of games, you know? It's my stance, at least. Leftovers, top 3 favorite game studios. Larian, probably CDPR, especially after they've recouped a lot of goodwill with the reworking of Cyberpunk. And if I had to choose a third, I mean, the easy answer is just Rockstar, because everything they touch turns to gold. But beyond that, I mean, Santa Monica is great. Naughty Dog is great. I just want to see what they're working on. They've all been quiet, except for Santa Monica. I mean, obviously, today we're going to be doing some stuff from Santa Monica. So we're not dissing them, but yeah, we haven't seen what their next big thing is, you know. How's Paul Rudd's brother from Another Mother doing today? I get Paul Rudd a lot, and then people say my voice sounds like Bob Odenkirk, like Saul from Better Call Saul or from Breaking Bad. I don't know. To me, it just sounds like my voice, but I do get that a lot. I see those all over the place. Somebody made a TikTok video responding to one of our TikToks, and the top rated comment in that video from somebody that had never seen my stuff before was just somebody being like, "Oh my God, he sounds like Bob Odenkirk," which I just thought was funny. But yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Did you get to hear DSP Gaming's take on Starfield and the BG3 Game Awards? Yeah, he's so obsessed with not liking Baldur's Gate 3, because let's be honest, he doesn't actually like playing video games, that he can't accept that the game is really, really good and requires a little bit of thought. So he's just convinced himself the game is terrible, and then, you know, everybody's loving on the game. So I mean, it's just typical lol cow behavior. It's just ridiculous. Scott, also, thank you for the $4.99. Do you like Star Wars and the MCU? Who are your favorite characters? Do you like the Mandiverse or the post-Endgame MCU? For me personally, I go in and out with Star Wars. I think it's mainly because my name is Luke, so I grew up a lot on Star Wars jokes at my expense, you know? So I think that has always kind of thrown me off, because ever since I was little, it was always like, it was always, Luke, I'm your father. So for me, it was never like that fun, you know? Because I growing up, it was in the prequels, so we were getting those all the time, and it, I think, kind of burned me out on it. But as for the MCU, I mean, I liked the MCU when it was probably the early 2010s. So like Iron Man was still kind of at the forefront. We were getting an Avengers or Age of Ultron, that type of thing when I was in high school. That was always fun. Towards the end, it was very clear it was just being milked. And nowadays I have like zero interest in anything that they put out. It's just the same movie every single time. I know for some people that are really big comic book fans, it's always a little bit fun to see certain heroes come up. But at this point, I'm kind of burnt out and sick and tired of the superhero stuff. I just want something different, personally. Like Barbie, you know? We need more Barbie in the world. Let's see, and then let's finish catching up here. What's the worst game of the year? Worst game of the year, honestly, that I played is probably Kong. Kong is just not even like a video game. Gollum, you can at least tell some people really cared and worked on that. They just didn't really know what they were doing or how to put the pieces together. But you can tell that there were people that really cared. The Day Before, I don't even know if you can call it a game. Like, it's an executable file that loads you into an area with theoretically other players, but there's like a zombie that you'll see and a player that you might see, and then everything else is just non-existent. There's no gameplay loop. It's not a video game, basically. So I would probably say Kong. That's my stance personally, because Kong is like, it's a game, it's just terrible in every way. And I guess you could also say another one that was terrible was that Last of Us ripoff. I didn't get to play that myself, but that one was horrible. Like, there literally were not enough bullets in the game world for you to finish the game, which is just amazing. Like, they didn't even test it enough to realize you can't win the game or kill all the zombies with the amount of bullets that they put into the video game, which is just amazing. Scott, also thank you for the 2. Do you think Suicide Squad will be good? My stance on Suicide Squad has remained consistent, which is just that I think for fans of looter shooters and live service games, they probably will find some fun to be had in Suicide Squad. I think classic Rocksteady fans are probably going to be pretty frustrated with it, because it has little hints and remnants of what they used to do in their last few games. But at its core, the gameplay is just nothing like what I think Rocksteady fans have been hoping for. So we'll see. I would love to be wrong and for it to be amazing and fantastic. You know, we'll see. We'll see, but I don't know. Jordan, these are Astro A50s, I believe is what the official name is. Astro A50s. I love Astro headsets. They're fantastic. Good stuff. Good stuff. What was the name of the Last of Us ripoff? It was like The Last Hope or something like that. I think it's all delisted, and it was only sold, I think, in Australia. Like the Australian eShop. There's a whole thing. Zotac 4090, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was so big, it doesn't fit in this case. It has to be vertically mounted because it's so huge. It's ridiculous. I second the Astro A50s. Love them. Yeah, Leo's with me on this. They have like a little charging dock. The battery life's crazy. It's fantastic. What's with the different mic today? IROX, it's, for one, the Shure SM7B is developing a little bit of a static problem. I'm not sure why. And then this one is, it has a built-in pop filter, and then I have this secondary pop filter. And I had heard a handful of people complaining about pop filter issues. So I figured I would try this, see if people notice or prefer it, and we can go from there, you know?
Mark Coakley is now a red flag.
Ooh, baby. So this confirms Bruce survived Arkham Knight. Yes. Because it's all the same universe. I don't know exactly what timelines are like, but I don't know. Yokes, Luke, I have 20k points. Let me flex with cool redeems. Yeah, we have to go through and figure them out. Part of the problem we've run into is that the like co-streaming causes some issues where like redeeming a highlighted message in chat on Twitch, it doesn't always show up as highlighted for me. So like that redemption doesn't always make a lot of sense. I do like the idea of the hydration one, but the problem we've run into is just that we have like, it's a very good problem to have. We have people that have like 20,000 points to spend. And so like if I open it up for like a soundboard where you can redeem sounds and stuff, inevitably it just, the whole stream is nothing but ooh woo, ooh woo, ooh woo, ooh woo, ooh woo. What the hell is even that? Ooh woo, ooh woo. Like the whole time. So it's always tough. Do a 20k and you give 3 minutes of ASMR. Oh yeah, like me with a watermelon, like running my fingernails along it. That's what I imagine when I think of ASMR. It's just weird stuff with fruit. Am I alone in that? Is that not what it is? That's what it seems like to me. Do you think Star Wars Eclipse will ever come out? I have no idea. There's so much. Oh yeah, ooh, Valhalla, ooh. Yeah, there's so many games that are just kind of sitting on ice right now. Who knows? Okay, should we actually get into this? Should we actually do this now? Let me see if sound is working real quick. Let's see if sound is working. Is this right? Yes. Okay. Booyakasha. You can put cooldown on redeems, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I just have to mess with it. I think that's the big thing. I just have to mess with it. And Andre, happy holiday, Luke. Nothing but love, baby. 14 months, Andre. Thank you, my friend. 14 months. Oh, baby. Ooh,
Andres
baby.
Tello Marinas is now a red flag. Happy holidays, Luke. Nothing but love, baby.
Yes, much love, my friend. Much love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. What I think I'm going to have to do is, just so everybody knows, we are going to put the little alerts on mute while we go through this, just so it's not disruptive to anybody that's watching or listening. I'll catch up on all super chats and memberships, subs, and donos and stuff when we reach a natural break point, but I just don't want anybody to be confused if it's not making sound. Okay, so I guess, Jacob, new segment. So here we are. The day's arrived, okay? This was honestly one of the most surprising announcements at the Game Awards, was that we were getting a free DLC expansion, whatever you want to call it, for God of War Ragnarok. Like, we had all been talking about an expansion or DLC for Ragnarok because in my view, it just made sense. Like, they gave Atreus all these abilities. They clearly set it up for Atreus to go off and do some other stuff. So I thought we were going to get an Atreus DLC. That's not what this is. This is allegedly, according to the devs, like an epilogue for the story of the game that has some story components, but it's a roguelike mode that offers you the chance to get back involved with combat and all that stuff. I've not seen anything about this. I don't know what it's like. It just launched about 15 minutes ago, so who knows what it's actually like. Well, I know who's going to know. We are, because we're actually going to try it. So when we load into the game, there's now an option for Valhalla, and you can select it by itself. I don't know if you have to finish the game. Oh, is it going to make us down? Mother. Okay, we might have to do some just chatting for a little bit. It had a 3 gig update, and then it still has another download. Okay, well, we'll do this real quick. It's already at 2%. Okay, we're on our way. Okay, it's going very, very quickly. Okay, it's going to be fine. But I don't know if they only unlock this once you've finished the game, or if this is something that you can just launch into even if you haven't finished. I'm not sure. I also don't know what the extent of like story spoilers are going to be. So I don't know how much of a story spoiler warning to give you. It is an epilogue, so spoiler alert, Kratos is alive, but I think that was already revealed in the in the trailer for this at the Game Awards, because Kratos is in the trailer and then they say it's an epilogue, so it doesn't take a genius to put 2 and 2 together. But there you go. There you go. Do I have the PS5 Elite controller? Yes, we're going to be playing with the DualSense Edge. Sony sent this to me, and while I appreciate it and I think it's very sturdy and well built, I think it's ridiculous to pay $200 for this. Compared to the flexibility of like the Elite Series 2, I just think that it's kind of outrageous to spend that much money on this. It's going to download the PS4 version. So it downloads the PS5 version and then the PS4 version. That's weird. Okay. The following is meant to be experienced after the completion of God of War Ragnarok and will contain spoilers. Do you wish to proceed? I do. I do wish to proceed. So just everybody be prepared. Spoiler warning. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, difficulty option. Show me will. Show me. Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Show me will. Show me courage. Sorry, I can't read. Show me resolve. Show me courage. Show me prowess. Show me mastery.
So in standard roguelike fashion, the harder you go, the more rewards you get. Interesting. It says Valhalla is a combat-focused adventure that rewards overcoming challenge. You are encouraged to change difficulties during the experience to find an ideal level of enjoyment. Interesting. And also the devs tweeted out, I think yesterday, they said that in the studio, the final boss encounter, like the final thing at the end of this, no one at the development studio, no one at Sony Santa Monica has been able to finish that boss fight on Show Me Mastery, which is freaking hilarious. For one, I just would have assumed that developers would be like, okay, you have to finish every boss fight. We have to finish every boss fight before we release the game, because we don't want to release something that's unbeatable, right? Like, we don't want to do something like that. We have to at least beat it ourselves to know it's possible. But apparently, they haven't even beaten the final boss on that difficulty, which is freaking hilarious. So I guess in chat, I want to hear everybody's predictions for how long it takes, like an hour, a day. How long does it take before we see clips of somebody beating that final boss on the hardest difficulty? I'm going to guess... Because there's probably people that went back and replayed the game in the last 5 days to prepare for this. So they're probably fresh. I'm going to be very rusty. So maybe... You know what? I'm going to say tomorrow morning we'll see clips going around of somebody finishing that boss. I think it's going to take till tomorrow morning, but I don't think it'll take that long. Pistol chip, 15 hours. Okay, that's probably pretty close. Yeah. 7 hours, 4 hours, a couple of hours, definitely by the end of the day. See, my thing is, like, I've seen people that are very, very good at God of War's combat, and those people have probably gone back and replayed the game and gotten really fresh with it, so they're just going to plow through this. So, I don't know. I guess we should just recommended starting combat difficulty. Okay, we'll do recommended, and we'll just go there. But it's an interesting concept. Like a free update. Oh, we have that Last of Us loading screen. And here we are. This is just the trailer. I'm gonna be real. When we saw this trailer at the Game Awards, I thought it was gonna be Death Stranding 2 because the water looked like Decim Engine.
Nothing of this place.
Oh, nothing that would help us. Tell me, brother, why exactly are we doing this?
I don't know. The invitation.
I do not know.
Oh, that's comforting.
So it seems like it assigns you a starting set of
Look, I
equipment.
know you expect more from the smartest man alive, but Odin always kept me in the dark about this place.
I'm not sure if this is the
Why
same
I
equipment
asked you
I
to seek
had
player's
equipped at the end of my
guidance.
run.
Repeatedly.
She does not seem eager to speak with me.
Well, quite the opposite, brother. But you tell yourself whatever you need to.
I see a shore ahead. Black sand.
Exactly as described in the invitation.
An
Finally
invitation.
bloody made it.
Like, this was really not on my bingo card for this year, honestly. It was a free update to God of War. That's like a single player expansion. Not on my bingo card.
Something is happening.
Oh, you lose all your stuff. You start at 0.
Back to basics then.
Yep. That's funny. Yeah, you just go straight back to nothing. Okay. Well, I mean, standard roguelike stuff. You go back to basics, and every time you run it, you start over.
Plunged into a dream.
Controls, under lessons. No, we're gonna crash and burn. Who needs refreshers? The vast expanse. I wonder how varied the levels are gonna be. If they're all gonna be kind of like this, or if we're gonna get some
Doesn't seem anyone's
really
here
different
to
stuff.
welcome us.
Locked.
I don't suppose you'll take that as our cue to turn around and leave.
Can you imagine? She's like, okay, I'm good.
Reatha Sialfur, Sinum Hautum.
Kratos can read now?
Master.
Master thyself.
A more poetic way of putting it, but yes.
Just squeeze really hard. Where are we?
Something is wrong. I feel
Okay.
eager.
Valhalla may not appreciate our breaking in.
Yeah, dude, for real. Hello? Okay. The shield can't open, so I can't parry, I don't think. Yeah, I just won't. Okay. So no parrying. Okay.
Not the sort of foes I expected to encounter here. Curious. Seems it's the way of this place to offer you a choice.
Drastically increases the power of General's advance and General's deception skills. Scoring a successful precision throw with the axe has a luck chance to cause a stun blast. Which to do? Forward pressing. R1 to bash for a blunt end of the spear. I mean, it drastically increases the power. I think drastic is probably the one we want to do. View and menu. Okay. So glyph types. Weapon glyphs empower weapons, and perk glyphs provide unique effects. Okay. Status or stats glyphs increase Kratos' attributes for this attempt. Okay. It's standard. Okay. Standard stats. Chest symbols. Each chest has a floating symbol, indicates the type of reward inside. Symbols overview. Stats, weapon, runic, mixed, refill, fleeting echoes, mastery, seal, spirit seal, divine triumph. Okay.
At least you're not going in completely hobbled.
I wonder how long this actually is. Does anyone in chat know if they've said how long this actually is? Oh, right, I can't parry. That's important to know. Can't parry. Okay, heavy runic attack. Dropping down, running into multiple spears. An array of chaotic cyclones rampages through the battlefield, damaging all enemies in their path. 2 stun, 250 seconds. We're gonna go with the more frequent one. I think that's what we're gonna do. That's what we gonna do. 8 to 10 hours is what they said. Okay, wow. Okay. Oh yeah, we warped to a totally different area. Love that. Okay, a little different vibe. This was my main concern, was just I didn't
That's
want...
the last remaining pocket of Asgard. Something unreal about it, though.
Yeah, this is kind of cool.
This part seems peaceful. You should have a look around.
I was worried it would all just look very samey, but it looks like we're actually going to get slightly different ones.
Aided us, talked sense into you. Win-win either way, really. I certainly can't see how there's any benefit to avoiding her.
I am not avoiding her.
Brother, you've gone to bloody Valhalla to avoid her. At least be honest with yourself.
It is not her I'm avoiding.
I'm avoiding myself.
Value, Freya.
Well, that I believe. And nice to hear you admit, frankly. I think she values you as well, in her way.
She finds me useful. It is not the same.
Is that really what you think?
I do not believe she understands what she asks of me.
I don't think so either. Kratos feels unappreciated. Okay, so maybe this door. Oh God.
Tread carefully, brother.
I keep trying to dodge with circle.
Use a shield strike, brother.
I don't think I can use a shield strike because I don't have my shield. I thought that was the whole point. I thought that was the whole point, guys. Romance? Oh, dude, if there's a romantic scene, I don't think there would be.
We're back outside.
You just toss the head on the ground.
You marched into
Oh.
Valhalla without even talking to us first?
Nice to see you too, Malik.
It
No.
was a personal matter, and I would not take you from your duties.
You breached Valhalla. Consider it worth my time. This entrance is secret. Who told you of this place?
Just point at Mimir.
Nailed to our door 3 days ago.
Smash X for romance.
Kratos of Sparta, you are hereby invited to a challenge. Face the past, face the future. Master Valhalla, master thyself. And then directions here, no signature.
Who else knows of this entrance?
Odin and us. It's likely a trap.
You're thinking of going back in.
Would you join me?
Oh, don't let me intrude on your personal matter.
No, do we get to fight
Besides,
with
I
Freya? That'd be
can't.
cool.
Unlike the two of you, I've never died.
What happens if I return inside?
Relatable.
Well, that depends on you. Valhalla draws from the memories of those who enter. In there, you're an open book. Sure, you want to go back in.
How did you even get past the gate?
I forced it open.
With his bare hands.
He forced it open.
There's an easier way if you insist on going back in. Come.
Sigrun, maybe later we could continue with that one conversation.
For once, Mimir, I think you've said enough.
Aye. Right then.
Poor Mimir.
And the other matter we discussed? You're still thinking, I take it?
I am.
Is that what this is? Guess I'll let you think, then.
All right, gentlemen. Let's
Okay.
send you in properly prepared this time.
Choose a shield.
First, Valhalla requires you to perform the ritual of selection.
Okay. Okay, Fury, Valor, or Wrath. What do we want? Charge an enemy with current weapon, deal a large amount of damage with additional weapon effects. Killing the enemy heals a small amount. Spartan Rage, Burst of Health, time arrive being negate attack. Gain additional burst of healing, grant melee attack bonus. Fury. Yeah, this is the classic one. Then we'll do that. And then we choose a shield. Oh, and we have the option of all of them. Okay. Yeah, see, Mimir, now I can do shield bashes. Now I can. Let's see, high stun. Blow enemies backwards, increasing power when fully charged. Check, break their guard. Guardian shield is the classic. I think we'll try Dauntless.
Good.
High risk, high reward.
Let my sister speak to you of Valhalla's rules and its values.
Okay. Speak to me.
What do you know of this place?
The challenge of Valhalla is not merely about overcoming obstacles. It's about the way you overcome them, how you demonstrate mastery of your own powers. We can guide you down a path, but Valhalla will be the judge of your progress. Return to me when you've met a goal, and we will observe the effects.
Oh, do you think we run into Sindri? Oh, that would be cool.
What have you to say?
Valhalla seeks to foster wholeness and balance within those who enter. To fully master yourself, you can't rely on only your most familiar tactics.
I use the tactics appropriate to the situation.
Of course, but varying your approach will demonstrate to Valhalla the full mastery of your abilities, and Valhalla will reward such demonstrations.
Okay.
Be sure to come back and see me as you progress.
Step up to the gate when you're ready to proceed.
Yeah, God of War could expand into more spin-off
Air,
games.
Gunnar, with me.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if part of this, and they're going to watch the response. I wouldn't be surprised if part of this response... Oh. Are they going to make Kratos sing? That'd be funny.
Now you can enter Valhalla by this gate. Without
Okay. Without suffering the penalty. So it won't fully strip us of all of our abilities, I guess? Or any improvement? I'm not sure.
Feeling this time.
No, all is well.
Okay.
Thank you, shield maidens. All right,
Interesting.
let's try this whole thing again.
Okay. Yeah, but I think one of the things they're going to be doing is they're going to be judging the response to this. And if the response is really good, I think they probably entertain the idea of a spin-off game. Because why not? I mean, they already have a hugely successful IP. Why not make something like this that has some narrative elements? Aim for like some live service stuff. Power of chaotic rampage skills. We'll do that. Cue the musical. Dude, I would kill to see a musical God of War game.
I'm looking for my son. Time to kill Odin.
Oh, switch. There we go. Choppy, choppy. Okay.
What is at odds between you and Sigmund? Did you ever?
I'm ready for a Freya solo game. I love her story, and being a Viking myself, love the lore and story. Yeah, I think
But you needn't worry yourself, brother.
it's tricky because I think for her, in terms of her combat that they established in the base game and with Atreus' combat in the base game, it's not really clear that she'd be able to hold her own game. So they'd have to do a lot of work with her. The other problem is just that it's God of War, and it's about Kratos, the God of War. And so it's not that easy to just be like, actually, it's Gods of War, you know?
Of Asgard at all. Just something spun from your memory of it. Fascinating. Brother, I must admit, Freya's idea does make quite a bit of sense to me. What better God of War could the realms ask than a general who won Ragnarok?
Yeah, good
Tried
point.
to save lives.
Silence for a moment.
I'm gonna punch stuff. This was actually a really bad time to use this. I'm realizing now. I regret it. I have regrets. Ooh. Could just expand on the universe, similar to how Control and Alan Wake have different names but intertwine the stories. Yeah, I think that that's probably the best way that they could do it. So I agree. I think that that makes sense. And as for whether they do it or not, I mean, I think it would be easy money. But it's also easier said than done. Like, just ask yourself the basic question, who does it? Like, do they expand Santa Monica Studio and they have Santa Monica do it? Or do they have a separate studio do it? That, like, this was the thing we talked about on stream yesterday. There's all these rumors of like Bungie, if they can't hit financial targets, Bungie could be taken over by Sony, because part of their agreement when they bought them was that Bungie would remain fully independent as long as they hit their financial goals. But if they miss those financial goals, Sony gets to fire the board of directors and take over the company completely. And one of the possible outcomes of that is that Sony takes over Bungie, and then they have Bungie start making multiplayer games and live service games with their other IPs. So you could have Bungie working on The Last of Us Factions, Bungie working on a God of War live service game. You could have Bungie working on all this stuff. Whether as the main development studio or as a support studio, just because they weren't able to figure out how to make Destiny successful. So I don't know what the future holds for them, but it's certainly interesting that they're playing around with it. And I think that that's the entire point of this, is that they knew if they charged like $10 for this, there would be a lot of people that wouldn't bother with it. Like for me, what compels me is the story element of God of War. So hearing that it's like, oh, it has a roguelike mode. It's like, okay, cool. But I don't think I need to play that. I can just watch somebody else play it or watch a story recap and I'll be fine. But considering it's a free update, why not try it, you know? So I think that they're offering it for free. And then, Glyphs Purchase, okay. And okay, they can be upgraded. And then retain your progress in Valhalla and exit to the main menu. Okay. So at these things is where you would suspend and save to go back to the main menu. So I think they're offering it for free because they want as many people to try this as possible. And then they'll gauge response. And if the response is really, really positive, they probably walk out and try to do an entire dedicated spin-off game. Because why wouldn't they, you know? I think it only makes sense. Hey, Newman, thank you also for subbing with Prime. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. A new Killzone, they could do that. Yeah, well, there's rumors that they might be doing just that. That they might be, or specifically Guerrilla Games might be working on another one. We'll see though. We'll see. Who knows? Who knows? Two of my favorite things: God of War and roguelike. Can't wait to try this later. Yeah, I mean, so far it seems like they've really put a lot of thought into it. There's a lot here. So fleeting echoes are the currency you get for killing all those things. So it can give you certain blessings. Immediately restores a moderate amount. So I can spend that to get a little boost if my health is really low. It's currently full, so I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to get a blessing of strength instead. Okay. Yeah, I was kind of braced for this to just be kind of a quick afterthought. Like there's waves of enemies and it lasts maybe a couple hours and then you're good. But it seems like they've actually put a lot of thought into this, which is refreshing. A free update with thought put into it. What is this?
Not that way it seems, and no way to pry it open.
Yeah, don't know how to do that yet. It's gonna take like some sort of key we haven't unlocked. Same with that one. Okay, well, maybe you go back through all of these once you get the keys you need to open it. Got you. Okay. I wonder if there's going to be a lot of unique enemies. I'm mainly interested in like the big boss fights. Fortune Strike. Melee attacks have a luck chance for a critical, creating an explosion. Hitting stunned enemies unleashes shockwaves and has a strength to grant, or a chance to grant, a stack of increasing strength and stun damage. Ooh. I mean, I think just broadly melee attacks having a chance for criticals probably will end up doing more over the course of an entire run than just only on stunned enemies. So I think we're going to do that. That's at least what makes sense in my noggin.
And this must be how you remember Sparklefight.
Grail knows I would not refuse to aid her when in need. I have done and will do my part to fight for peace.
It is interesting. They are just like little warped versions of areas we've been to.
Oaths. The people need to know you're committed to them and to yourself. That you'll be there for them. And I know that you will. I understand you've got misgivings, man. But you've put your past behind you. We all see it.
You do not know everything I am.
That you were. You told me of your past, and yes, much of it was horrible. But you've proven over and over again that you're not that man anymore.
Yes, you were a piece of crap, but we love you anyways. Imagine if it has a companion chest that spawns Atreus or Freya. Oh, like a ghostly version of them. That could be cool. Don't mind me. Booyakasha. We're making progress. Okay.
Behind you, brother!
This would also be great if you're just looking to like train yourself on the combat before trying like a hard mode run. Right, give me God of War run. Be really good for it. Okay, we're doing pretty good. What's this? Oh, that's right. Okay. Could have used that. Oops. What we got? Master Seal. All right, anything else up here we should look at or grab? I don't think so. Yeah. Okay. It's worth checking. Master D's nuts. You're damn right. There should be a boss rush 2. Oh, that would be cool.
There. That is the path we seek.
I think most, honestly, I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I think most games should have a boss rush mode. After you finish the main story,
There's an upside to this
let people try it.
At least it's good to see you in action again. You're already more your cheery self than I've seen in
Like, it's
movies.
only upside.
Without a trace or a fight in front of you, I wonder after your well-being.
Combat can be clarifying.
Oh,
What is this?
it's a throne.
You recognize your old seat, don't you?
Yeah, baby.
Kratos. I have not forgotten the debt I owe you.
Do you really think he understands the stakes? This still feels reckless.
Here they are now.
That's odd. We're back outside, but we didn't, you know.
Sometimes you reach as far as you're ready to go. Valhalla's decision or yours?
Okay.
Does this mean you're done in there?
No.
No.
I will discover who invited me. I believe I am close.
You're sure it's worth dying for?
I mean,
I think we're fairly accustomed to dying. At this
yeah,
point.
exactly. He comes back
Don't be
anyways.
glib, Mimir. Valhalla restores you after honorable death in combat, but beyond that, it makes its own rules. And if you don't play by them, Kratos, the threat of death in there is real.
That is good to know.
If by good you mean wildly disconcerting.
I do wish you luck.
Thank you.
Truly.
Thank you. I know with all of this,
Travel is unpredictable, as is life.
I think like this is another example of one of those cases where in the Santa Monica studio version of like Nordic mythology, everything comes off to me personally as just a little underwhelming in terms of set pieces and scale. And I think part of it is just in terms of gameplay, like there's just not much that they can, like the arenas are small, the levels are kind of flat and relatively simple. But it's like when I saw Asgard for the first time in the base game, it's like, oh, that's like the mythical legendary place. Like, oh, okay. Well, it's not as epic as I was expecting. And maybe we've just been spoiled by like Marvel and their depictions of all of this. But same with like Valhalla. Like we're in Valhalla and it's just kind of underwhelming, like really little looks at tiny little places. It's just not quite as epic as I would have thought. Maybe we'll get there and we'll see some really epic stuff, but yeah. Individual little labors, okay. But I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that. Maybe I'm just greedy. Upgrades unlocked here are permanent. Okay, so I can craft using master seals. Permanent increases to health, rage, whatever else. Okay, so I crafted that. The second one is 25. I'll craft that. And I'll craft the third one, because why not? Let's just level up the health. Okay, now we're into these, and it goes all the way up to 9. And I need Divine Triumphs, which I would guess I'm going to be getting based on, for killing bosses and stuff. And then there's, like, upgrades to individual stats as well. Cool. Okay. And this is for each run, and they also said I think you can tweak the difficulty. Yeah, highest difficulty, higher rewards. So if I go up to Show Me Courage, it'll be plus 20% rewards. Okay. So let's try this on a little bit higher difficulty. We select our kind of loadout here. I think we're going to do... I think I'm going to keep Fury. And for Shield, I think I'm going to keep Dauntless. Okay, yeah. Let's try it. And it's probably... I don't think it's fully randomized. I think it's going to be the same thing. Yeah. Which is... Let's see if it's the same, like, loadout of creatures. No, I don't think they were ice-based before. So it does seem like the enemy types can change slightly. Which I'm glad about. Keeps it a little fresh, even if the arenas are the same. How do you Kratos among the stable of PlayStation characters? I personally... I'll play it feelings are more stunned and moderate like chance. Okay. I personally really like Kratos, and in terms of the latest games, they've done a really good job. Oh, that's great. Look at that. Recognize that? That's great. In terms of what they've done with his character arc and everything in like God of War and then God of War Ragnarok, they've done a great job. I don't really know where they go for the sequel. Set presumably in like ancient Egypt or something. I don't know what they do there. I'm very excited to see, but like, where does his character go from here? Because the whole premise of these games was like, okay, he's learning to be a father, and then he's like learning to trust his son, and then also to forgive himself. And then in this expansion, it seems like the theme of Kratos learning to forgive himself is still a present theme, and maybe that's just what they do again in the sequel. I don't know. But I'm trying to figure out what the big internal torment element is going to be for Kratos in the next game, you know? Because I don't think it's clear that there is one that stands out quite as forcefully as the obvious ones they used for this last game. Ooh. I would love to see a God of War game with like Last of Us 2 levels of gore. I think that would be crazy. Maybe we'll get that. It just seems like such a no-brainer, right? Hades Retribution. Which one is this? Oh, right. He stabs him and makes him blow up. And then the flare is like a ranged version of that. I think we'll do this one. Kratos is a god killer, so he'll be used to kill gods by gods. Yeah, but like, what's the impetus for it? Like, so he goes to Egypt, and like he meets with Osiris and somebody, and he's like, the gods are growing restless. You must kill them. Oh, that's cool.
The fog's lifted. Valhalla's becoming more open to you, perhaps.
Okay.
So much to see in the distance there. You can see how all the little realm spaces connect to the higher plane. And those statues are certainly imposing.
I recognize them. They are judges of the underworld from my homeland.
Ah, well, you sound thrilled to see them again.
Just straight up Olympus.
Souls they deemed righteous were granted entrance to the Elysian fields. Those deemed wicked were cast into Tartarus.
Ah, yes, where the souls of the damned were tortured. Why has your mind manifested them here, I wonder?
Interesting. Yeah, remember when I was like, oh, the scale and scope is always a little underwhelming. This is much better. I love this. This is great. Okay, I spoke too soon. This is great. I'm glad they lifted the fog, because if it was just the foggy areas, I would have been like, oh, that's kind of lame. But this is great. I love this. This is epic. They even said this was the end of the arc for him. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're not planning on doing another arc. You know, like what do they do for a sequel? What's the evolution of Kratos? Can you have a God of War game without Kratos? I don't think you can. I think you have to. And I think if they really wanted it to be the end of his story, they would have just killed him off. Because they set it up for that already. Oh, so can I warp to the next realm without fighting through these waves again? Is that what this is? I think it is. Chosen will unlock Ascending Sands.
This is locked until we meet Valhalla's demands.
Defeat the Chosen. Okay. I can do that. Probably. I'm hoping. No, can't open that. Can't open that. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Uncharted can be without Nathan Drake. Same with Horizon without Aloy. I mean, I think they're gonna try eventually Uncharted, but I I mean a full Uncharted, like Uncharted 5 or something without him, because they did the Lost Legacy, but as far as I could tell, most people agreed that there was just something missing in the Lost Legacy, and it was the charm that Nathan Drake had. I think they can eventually get it working if they have the right characters, but it's not going to be a layup. It's going to take a lot of work. Oh, I thought I parried that. I did not. Okay, you guys are overwhelming me. Oh, poo. I have to block for those little doggy things earlier. Keep getting slapped. Oh, that's cool. Okay. 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 Let's see. He's up. Thank you for the 5 great British pounds. I think his next arc is learning what it means to stand up for the people and what it means to be a good God of War, similar to Tyr. Yeah, maybe like he was running away from being a God of War for so long, and then at the end of this game, he kind of accepts it, but more for good. So maybe it's like he goes to Egypt and is overwhelmed by the evil of the gods and tries to, I guess, maybe separate from the wheat from the chaff or something. I don't know. I don't know. But I think there's plenty that they could do. Okay. Whoop. Lost chat. Oh, hey, Redberry. Good to see you, my friend. Hey, Luke. Hunter and I missed you at the Game Awards, man. You got to come next year. Yeah, was it a good time? Was it a good time? If anybody in chat is unclear, Redberry's a fantastic TikTok creator. And Hunter is another one I met at the Avatar event. I mentioned Redberry on stream yesterday, actually. I think it was. So that's funny. Because we were talking about the Game Awards, and whatever his name is, Matal? No, it's not Mate. I think it's Matal. Matan. I think it's Matan. That guy that stormed the stage during Elden Ring's acceptance speech. He was there and apparently got escorted out and trespassed just like 10 minutes into the show or something. So I was actually like, I wonder if they saw that. Did you see that, Redberry? Did you see him get escorted out? I don't know if you were sitting in the same area, but that'd be funny. Celestial Protection. That seems 75% resistance to all status effects. That seems like a no-brainer. But yeah, I think next year I'd like to go. I think that'd be fun. Yeah, I met Todd Howard in a bathroom and had the most awkward interaction. Oh, really?
Starting to see there's no fixed order to the realms we'll visit here. Brother, whose
like-
voice was that we heard when Valhalla sent us back from the...
I've always said like,
Also,
oh, I should let him say
Said
this.
he owes you a debt, was it? Someone who might lend us a hand, perhaps?
unlikely. He was a god of Greece, and we did not part on good terms.
And by that you mean... Yes, I see. No shortage of bitter old ghosts in these parts.
Yeah, baby.
These parts being your memory.
It was him. That's funny. Yeah, if I ever ran into Todd Howard like in a bathroom, I think I would troll him a little bit. Like if we're at the urinal together, I think I'd just nice, and then walk away. You gotta have a little fun. You know, I see what you got going on, Todd. Good for you. Good for you, Todd. It's got to be so awkward when, like, it's already awkward when you're like, oh hey. It's already awkward when you're like a creator and you can tell when somebody recognizes you. And so for somebody like Todd, I'm sure it's incredibly awkward. Like, you know, everyone there knows who you are. And especially with like how much he's been memed on and trolled. Oh my God. I'm sure it's not that fun. Oh my God. Not like this. I just punch him to death? Really? But yeah, maybe next year we go to the Game Awards. That'd be fun. Was it hard to get in? Did you have to wait a long time? Okay. Todd, Todd, your tinkle is 16 times length. Oh God. Oh God. That would be a good way to get banned forever. Oh man. At least the kid did not interrupt Miyazaki's Game of the Year speech. Yeah. Well, I mean, after that, Jeff, I think, was so pissed. And then it happened again at Gamescom, wasn't it? They had somebody storm the stage again, trying to be, I forget, it was somebody trying to be funny or if it was like an activist or something, but somebody else stormed the stage. That's how successful that attempt was. It was that forgettable. But somebody else stormed the stage. And so at the Game Awards, they had like the full barrier ropes up along the stage, and then they had security at every entrance. So they were not messing around. They were like, we are not having somebody storm the stage again. We're not doing that. Which, good for them. I mean, the fact that it was so easy for them to have the storm or the stage stormed was already crazy. Like, you'd think that they would have had that locked down beforehand, but I guess you don't learn the lesson until it happens. And you're like, oh, yeah, we probably should have thought of that beforehand. Probably should have thought of that. Oops. Oops.
It was mine.
Didn't see the kid, but there was 10x the security. Yeah, I believe it.
Monsters.
I believe it.
Variety of power made manifest.
What is the DLC about? Didn't look too much into it. Well, didn't look into it at all. It's basically just a... I mean, it's a roguelike game mode that has you going through Valhalla, but it's like constructs of areas you've already been. So they're vaguely familiar, but they're not identical to areas you've already been to. And so as you go through the different areas, you gain abilities just like your standard roguelike, and hopefully grow stronger and stronger. And once you die, you reset, lose your progress, and try again with some permanent effects gained. So it's an interesting concept. It's one that's been done, you know, plenty before, but it's a game mode I don't think any of us were really expecting. Oh, double tap the blue, that's right. That's right. Double tap the blue. There you are. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, a health gem. Love that.
Incoming! Above you!
It is just very satisfying. Voila. Valhalla. Oh man, if Blade comes out good with Arcane's magic, would you rather play Blade stealthy or loud? I mean, it's a third person like action game. I mean, I think I'd probably end up trying it stealthy and then failing and just end up going in loud most of the time. That's my expectation. Chance to stagger inflict stun nearby when damage is taken. Ooh. Holding L for several seconds will trigger a high stun explosion on the next successful block or pair. Okay, that's cool. Fortification, you just have to prep it. Okay. You saw Insomniac get hacked. Was that confirmed? Oh, this was a mistake. Yep. Oh my god. I timed that very poorly. But yeah, I saw that the hackers were claiming they did, but I don't know if it was confirmed. Oh, I hate those nightmares. They're a nightmare. Oh my god. Just come here. Come here. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no, not like this. Not like this. I hate those nightmares so much. Oh god. Oh no. Am I dead? Almost. Oh, as I'm charging in. Are we dead? We're dead. As I'm charging in. Oh. Return to the shore. Okay, how much stuff do I lose? I think I gain... Do I, like... My question is, do I lose the currency as well?
Well, that was demanding. Carry on.
And he's fine. I probably lose the currency too, I would think. Let's see. Let's see how much we still have.
And they say you can't buy self-improvement.
No, I think... So we kept some. We kept some. Okay. We didn't have much, but we kept some. Defense or strength? It's a pretty big improvement either way. I think we'll do strength for higher damage. So, I mean, so far, I mean, it's pretty robust. I was kind of braced for it to be a quick little lazy, yeah, here, you fight 5 waves of enemies, and then you're at the end. Congratulations. But it's free, so you can't really worry that much. Can't complain too much, you know? But they've actually put a lot of thought into it. I could easily see somebody spending 10, 20 hours messing around with this, especially on the higher difficulties. I think you could crank it and go crazy, dude. Do you think we'll ever get a Red Dead 2 remaster for current consoles? I don't think we would get it until like the end of the generation. Rockstar is really weird. Rockstar doesn't like to have members of their team work on remasters and remakes, as we saw with the Grand Theft Auto trilogy. And so they like to do stuff more in-house. And as a result, like if they're okay, so it's complicated. They don't like to do remasters in-house, but they don't like sending it out of house to be done. So they want to use it for like training projects, if they're going to do it at all, to do like next gen versions. But that comes once every decade, basically. So like Take-Two might give it to a secondary team, but we saw how that works with the GTA trilogy. So who knows if they choose to do that? They might just say, screw it, it's selling fine. We'll just focus on GTA 6. I don't know. I think it's a layup. Unlock 60 frames on the PS5. Maybe add like actual HDR support instead of like the messed up version of stuff they have now. But we'll see. I'm not expecting it though. I don't think so. Rockstar makes great games and then they just don't really touch them again unless they're GTA Online. Manfish Meldrum, I'm telling you right now, if they make the next God of War game Egyptian themed, I will lose my crap. Like that would be a day when that game is announced that I'm actually like shaking with excitement. I love ancient Egypt. It's always been an obsession of mine. And if they actually go there, I'm going to lose it. It's going to be amazing. Fingers crossed. I'm worried though that because everybody's kind of expecting that they're not going to do it. They're going to go to like, I know some people were saying maybe they go Aztec, maybe they go to like China or something. And all of that would be good. I'm sure those games would still be really, really good and the setting would be really interesting. But I'm like, just because everybody's expecting Egypt doesn't mean that you should avoid it. If anything, I'm like, maybe just do that. Maybe do it. Even just one game. I don't need a trilogy. Just one awesome game and I'll be happy. Just a little something, you know? Oh yeah, set it against, you go to like Israel or Jerusalem and 33 AD and you have a final boss fight against Jesus. That would turn out really, really well, I'm sure. I'm sure everybody would love that. Can you just imagine the news stories, dude? Oh my God. I'm still so bummed there's been no Red Dead 2 DLC. Like imagine Undead Nightmare with aliens or something. Yeah, it's really too bad. But I mean, again, if it's not GTA Online, they just don't touch it. They don't care. Have you talked about the day before scam situation? Sorry if you discussed this already. Yeah, we talked about it a good amount yesterday. I don't actually know. Jacob, if you're in here, did we put up a stream clip on it, on the whole scam situation? I'm not sure if it's gone up yet. But yeah, we talked about it, and then I tried the game itself on a main channel upload. So we've tried it. We've looked at it. It's just... Again, I don't think anybody is surprised, but it's a little surreal to actually be here and see them so transparently just trying to take the money and run, which is crazy. It's just wild. Would a Roman pantheon be a possibility since there's Roman gods too? I think it's a possibility. I think, though, for a lot of people, and I didn't realize this till we were doing a stream and we were talking about it, a lot of people don't realize there's a difference between Greek and Roman cultures. Like they think that it's the same thing, even though they're like 500 years apart or 300 years apart. People don't realize that the Greeks and the Romans were very distinctly different. Clearly, the Romans kind of evolved out of the Greeks. You know, it's a part of the same storyline basically, but they're different. And I think as a result, a lot of people would see a Roman God of War game and would just see it as, so it's the same as the original trilogy of games, right? And it's like, no, that was Greek. I don't think many people would understand the difference. The other tricky thing with Rome is that the Roman pantheon of gods was like built very politically. It was all designed with like, okay, we conquered this area, so now we're going to welcome your god into our pantheon and they'll join our pantheon of gods. You can worship them and still be part of our kind of state religion, basically, you know, because it's all going to be included. It's why one of my history teachers, the way he phrased, like somebody in class raised their hand, like, why did the Romans hate like early Coptic Christians and like Christians so much that they would have them eventually like hunted down and executed and stuff? And the way the history teacher in my class said it was like, It's like, so just imagine, like, for centuries, you conquer somebody or somebody comes along, you try to show them a vow of good faith, and you're like, hey, you can come in, your God can join our gods, be part of our pantheon. We're going to welcome your God into our pantheon. We're going to make statues of him. We're going to, like, worship him too, make offerings. He'll be in all of our temple. It'll be great. It'll be great. What's your God's name? They ask the Christians, and the Christians go, oh, no, he doesn't really have a name. Same with like the Jews would have said this too. They're like, we don't say his name. We don't say his name. Like, okay, you don't say your God. Like, we have Zeus. We've got, like, you know, that, but like Jupiter. But you don't have a name for your God. And they're like, no, we don't have a name for the God. And they're like, okay, weird, but okay. Well, at the very least, what does he look like? We'll make a statue of your God and welcome him into our pantheon. What does your God look like? And they're like, no. We don't say his name, and he's invisible. And then they're like, oh, okay. Wacky. And so all of a sudden they're like, okay, we're not doing that. Yeah, in the Jewish tradition, you're not supposed to, like, especially unless you're a member of the temple, my understanding is you're not supposed to say the name of God. Like, you're not, like, it's the Lord, the God of gods, Alpha and Omega. Like, you're not supposed to actually say the name of, like, Yeshua or Jehovah or anything like that. It's a sacred name. You don't just say it casually. Like, there were some groups of early Jews and Christians that would stone you to death if you use the Lord's name in vain, which just means to say it without proper reverence. So, like, if you just are casually like, what's your God's name? Oh, your God's name is Jehovah. That right there would be using the Lord's name in vain because you're not giving it due honor and respect and things. So there's a lot of things going on. But, you know, then for the Romans, you know, with the early Christians, they're like, okay, well, what rituals do you do? You can't show us, like, what your God looks like. You think that that's a sin to carve a statue. Okay, we won't make a statue of your God. You won't say his name because he doesn't have a standard name like Zeus or whatever. Okay, whatever. At the very least, what rituals do you guys perform? And we'll help you out and we'll perform rituals with you. And you can be part of the empire and we'll do that together. And they're like, oh, well, we have this one ritual where we all sit around and eat bread and drink wine, and the bread is transformed into the flesh of our Savior, so we eat his flesh, and then the wine turns into his blood, and we drink his blood. And the Romans would just, what? Like, you can understand why the Romans would have been like, okay, these guys are a little weird. These guys are pretty wacky, you know? These are a little funny. These guys right here, I'll tell you what, these guys are a little something else. It's one of those, when you put it like that, okay, yeah, no, I can see why they would have been like, maybe we don't invite these guys to the party. I find it hilarious how over time, the worst of the worst thing to say, curses, cuss words, etc., have become common speech for even like 3-year-olds. Yeah, it all just changes over time. There still are, like, there's terms that you used to say in like the 60s and 70s, which now are insane. Like, no joke, there was like an older lady. We were at, I think Cracker Barrel, which if you're from not in the States, Cracker Barrel is like, it's a big corporate chain, but it's like a restaurant mixed with a gift shop. And it's meant to be like one of those small town kitschy antique shop kind of places. It's very weird, but we were at a Cracker Barrel and they have a lot of like old timey snacks and candies and stuff that you can buy in the gift shop section away from the restaurant. And there was an old lady, very old lady, that came up and asked the lady at the cash register, and I'm not making this up. I'm not going to Google it for obvious reasons, but if you are so inclined, you can Google it. She asked, do you guys sell any N-word babies? Is what she called them. Do you sell any N-word babies? And like the store goes dead silent. I'm sorry, what, ma'am? She's like, N-word babies. Do you sell any N-word babies? But not N-word babies. She said the thing. And they're like, ma'am, I have no idea what you're talking about. And she's like, no, they're like a little black licorice candy that I used to eat growing up all the time. They were delicious. I was just wondering, you sell a lot of old candies. Do you sell these? And they're like, no, we sell licorice, but no, we do not have those things that you said with your mouth. No, not as in Spanish for black, as in the slang offensive N-word term, as in that space babies. And we looked it up because I could not believe it either. And there was a candy in like, I think it was like the 50s or something, called N-word babies that was like a licorice something or other black candy that was just a little bitty thing, and they called them N-word babies, and that was an actual candy that they sold. And like for this old lady, she's like, oh, it was just a treat we ate growing up. She didn't even think of it as like, oh, that would be really offensive to a lot of people. But like, she just didn't think of it because she grew up like that. And, you know, walking into like a Cracker Barrel in Colorado, which is like very liberal, very Vanilla Valley. Like, again, you could have heard a pin drop or a mouse fart. It was crazy. It was ridiculous. Yeah, keeping it classy, Candy. Yeah, there's a lot of things like that when you go and you look through some of the like history books and you see just how much crap like that used to exist, and that was just like commonplace. Like, oh yeah, I went down to the store and I got some of this new candy. Check it out. It's just ridiculous. It's amazing. But that's how quickly language can change, is that used to be just like a candy on the shelf in like your typical gas station or supermarket. And now it's like unfathomable that we would see that, you know? That wasn't that long ago. Like the 50s was not that long ago. As I recall, the lady didn't get like kicked out of the store or anything. It wasn't anything like that. I think everybody was actually more just, I think they were more stunned than anything because nobody had like any idea. Yeah, or like Cracker Jacks, which is the candy, like caramel candy that has like the toy in the bottom. Just think about the name of that. just think about that name. Actually, no, I'm gonna keep using the axe. Is Diablo 4, I'm assuming that's what D4 is. Is Diablo 4 still bad? 40% off Steam, no regional pricing, which was the regional price of Elden Ring, full price. I mean, I think Diablo 4 got a lot of hate, honestly. Rightly so. Because they basically ruined it with a single patch that just nuked a bunch of builds. But it's still a very good game. And you have to remember that like Diablo 4, when it launched, was in like the low 90s on Metacritic. Like everybody agreed this is great. It was just that they screwed up that season 1 patch. And as far as I understand it, a lot of that has been undone. So it's much better now, and those problems have largely been mitigated. So I think it's probably worth checking out, honestly. Is there anything? Glyphs, best of luck. No, I'm gonna save my icon glossary. Okay, so this one is, where is it? Goals Codex. Lessons. Okay, I don't know. So there's this door as an option or this door as an option. Let's go through this one. Yeah, this is more standard. 1 of 7. So there's 7 doors before. There's 7 doors before presumably a boss fight. Oh. Got him. Chop, chop, chop. Get back here. Get back here. Most anticipated game for 2024? That is a very good question. If we're like what's been announced or what I'm hoping gets dropped, I guess those are two different questions. But as of right now, like, siphon. Oh, I forgot that's something I can do. I forgot that you can siphon it. This one is really good though. 2024 releases. What is definitely coming? Like, I'm very intrigued by Suicide Squad. I would love for that to be really good. That's very early in the year. What else do we have coming next year that we know about that's been like confirmed?
That image of you in the shrine we keep seeing. If Valhalla keeps pulling it out of your head, it must have some significance to you. Could it be that the idea of being loved and respected is a fair mite better than the alternative?
Black Myth does look really good. Dragon's Dogma, yeah, that's true. Is Crimson Desert? Is that confirmed for next year, or was that like coming eventually? Oh my god. I do love that when he vaults over that ledge, he can just sweep out their legs from under them. Oh my god. Chuck him over the wall. Right in the butt. That was pretty good. Is it weird that one of the things I hope we see in the coming years is like perma-gore? So as you kill enemies, they always stay in the arena. Is that weird for me to want? Because I find it so much more satisfying to clear out an arena of enemies and they're all still laying there, where I'm like, yeah, I did that. I did that. Like The Last of Us Part 2, you clear out an entire arena of like 15 enemies, they're all still there. You know, they don't go away. They don't despawn or anything like that. And I find that way more satisfying than when you like take care of an enemy and then they just immediately dissolve. But I'm worried that saying that makes me sound like a psychopath. You know, like, okay, Luke, calm down. Maybe Elden Ring DLC. Yeah, but like that hasn't been officially announced, you know? Grants a rage burst. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Some games do that. Hitman does. Yeah, games that are trying to be more grounded do. I just like it in general.
I'll grant your ambition can be a poisonous motive, but your ambitions are only to help people.
Let's see, I've done a couple of those. Let's try this one.
Make the world a better, safer place.
Viewing goals 7. It's not gonna show me. It's just a blank page. Okay.
I think maybe that image of
This conversation will have to wait.
Oh God. Oh god. Okay, we're gonna try to take control of the situation. The rage burst, love it. I love it when things work the way they're supposed to. Okay. Uh-oh, scary door. Is that a boss? I don't remember what the skull means, but it looks scary. A stats glyph. Do I want defense or endurance? I think I probably... Well, defense gives me 2. Okay, so this one gives me a little bit of vitality too, only 6, but this also gives me improved cooldown. I think Blessing of Endurance is the way to go, because the defense is the same. It's just, do I want 6 health or a good chunk of cooldown bonus? Probably the cooldown. I think that's the way. I think that is the way. Do we know the way? I think we know the way now. I don't mind GTA being delayed. I'm really interested in the use of AI to drive NPCs. That's the question, though, is if that's actually in this upcoming game. Might be. Strauss Zelnick has talked about it as something cool that he thinks they could utilize, but he's not said that that's being used in GTA 6. He just always says it in the context of, like, the future. Yeah, that's something we'd really like to explore in future titles. I don't know if that means that they've already explored it and it's going to be in the game, or if it means, like, in 2030, yeah, we hope to try that, you know? It's not really clear. Not really clear. Let's see, we're also supposed to get something behind from the team behind Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2, but don't hold your breath. Yeah, dude, for real. They are definitely in a hole right now. Doesn't that affect the rating if you have dead bodies? I'm not sure if it does. I think the ESRB, maybe in Europe it does affect it. But like the ESRB, I think it's mostly about blood. It's about, I think blood is the main thing that they're worried about. And then they also have it phrased as like gore is also a limiting factor for review. But in God of War Ragnarok, you can cut somebody in half. Like, I don't know why you'd be able to do that, but then they limit like how long the body stays spawned, because it drops on the floor. It just doesn't stay on the floor. It just warps out. And I think it's not done because of ratings. I think it's done because they are trying to manage memory and they don't want to keep those things on screen if they don't have to. Okay. Valhalla's chosen. Ooh, let's use this. Damn it. This is gonna suck. Where did you come from? Oh god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Left side, brother.
Oh, with the butt of it? Oh, I didn't even see that move coming. He just like pivoted quick. Oh man. Yeah, that one hurts. that one hurts. Ah, man. And then he awakens. Wow.
So we gotta beat that one and still have strength enough to go further? All right, we can do that.
Yeah. That's the first wave. We are on an increased difficulty right now, but still. Now, did I keep all of the currency I had? So I think I had over 100. Let's see.
Best improve where you can.
Let's see. Nope. It's only the mastery seals you keep. You don't keep the other currency. And mastery seals you're only going to collect probably once you make progress forward. I don't think that this is something that you're going to be able to grind up lower areas to get. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. I don't want to have to, or I don't want to have just dead bodies on the floor. I want to see physical model of body piles. Oh. Oh. Okay. So this could just be my own ignorance, and I know Unreal 5 is amazing, but is there a worry with everyone moving to this one engine rather than having different engines? Like I said, really ignorant here. I mean, there's pros and cons to everything. On the one hand, with many developers moving towards it, you would expect that because it's more mainstream, not only can that lead to better like mod support, it could allow for console manufacturers to improve firmware to better increase performance with that engine. You could see it, you know, because of revenues going into Epic Games, you could see the engine seeing huge improvements that they can front the cost for. So you could see improved mechanics and graphical capabilities and stuff. On the other side, the negatives are that, for one, everything is contingent on this one engine. So if there's one problem with the engine that's really common, all of those games likely suffer. We saw this a lot in 2022 and 2023 with Unreal Engine 4 and mostly 4, but some 5, having shader compilation issues. Do you guys remember Callisto Protocol with all those shader compilation issues with it stuttering so much? That was pretty much all Unreal Engine related. So it just depends. You know, there's advantages to it and there's disadvantages, but at the very least, it seems like there's a reason these devs are moving to it, and it's because the tool set's really impressive and capable of some crazy stuff. But the other thing, and I'll just warn everybody about this, is that with everything moving to Unreal, which is known for being able to present graphically some crazy impressive stuff very easily, you're going to see a lot of games come out and get announced that look graphically stunning, but are absolute trash. Because previously, in 10 years ago, if you saw a really graphically impressive game, it was probably a sign that this was a huge AAA or quadruple A project. There was tons of money in it, and it's coming from a studio that really knows what they're doing, because no other studio would get greenlit to spend that much money. Nowadays, you can have a team of 10 people that put together an Unreal Engine 5 game that looks amazing, but everything else about it could be totally lackluster and terrible. So graphics are no longer the bellwether for whether or not a game is being produced by somebody that knows what they're doing. And you're going to see a lot of stuff like that where people are like, well, but the game graphically looks really good. We saw it at the Game Awards where there was some reveals of some games and trailers for them that graphically looked really good, but when you actually like pause it and you go through it and you're like, wait, but graphically, like what is actually, it looks cool, but like gameplay wise, what is actually happening here? Like, is there actually a game here? And there isn't really a game there. There just wasn't. So day before, you could also say like graphically for an online game, it looks pretty good. Doesn't look bad at all. There's no game there, but graphically, if you take screenshots, yeah, it doesn't look terrible. And that's only going to get worse and worse as the years go by. So it's going to be very important for people to not just assume because a game looks graphically good that therefore it's going to be good. Even though 10 years ago you might be able to do that, nowadays I don't think you can. So it's going to be really tough to judge, I think, whether a game lives up to that level of fidelity or not. Forspoken and Redfall say, wow. Yeah. Who knows? UE5 could end up being the main engine everyone uses. The tech is incredible. My only worry is that everyone would keep making realistic games. Art style is key for me. Yeah, no, that's very fair. And with the Unreal Engine store and all of the assets that they have, you could see that becoming very commonplace where like everything that you see in the store, you start to see the same assets all over all these different games because they're all using the same asset kits and stuff. So that wouldn't surprise me at all either. But it's not crazy to think that the industry could largely move towards one engine primarily, with a bunch of little stuff kind of on the side. In the like VFX industry, there's only a couple of softwares. I think the main one, if I recall correctly, I think it's called Nuke. And that's the main software that they use for most special effects within like the Marvel films and a lot of these big budget film productions. Which is why they all can kind of look similar. They all have the same kind of vibe. And it's why like Weta Digital, who has their own tool sets, why their stuff looks different. Why Gollum in The Lord of the Rings looks very different from your standard CGI model from other ones. So is it Cass? I don't know what it's called. I thought it was called Nuke, but maybe I'm wrong. So it's not outrageous to think that a lot of the focus on tools could consolidate around Unreal Engine. I don't think that's outrageous to think is a possibility. It does mean that a lot of games are going to start to look probably relatively similar, but we'll see. We'll see. But based on that logic, would a return to a more cartoonish style allow for higher performance in other areas, such as Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom? Yeah, I mean, I think if you focus on like the brilliance of Breath of the Wild's art style is that cell shaded look allows them to have really low poly models, which the Switch can handle, but it's all evened out because of the cell shading basically removes a layer of shadow. So it just flattens it all. So you can't tell that it's a lower poly model. So it looks really good. And it also achieves a very, very useful technical benefit, which is allowing you to reduce poly counts. And so, you know, there's art style and art direction, and then there's like the mixture of tech direction with the art style that's really, really beneficial. Fortnite graphics are something else. It's more of an art style for the character models. If you play Fortnite and you crank the settings, that game looks insane. Like, it's crazy what they're able to do with that game. I agree. A lot of studios are trying to go for the Fortnite look. We've talked about it before. I mean, right now you could Google leaked Guerrilla Games Horizon multiplayer game or leaked Horizon multiplayer game, and you'll see the concept art that leaked for it, and it looks like Fortnite, basically. It's very cartoony. I don't think that that's them limited by the tool set. I think that's them more trying to go for attracting a younger generation of gamers to play, and that younger generation of gamers already clearly likes the art style of Fortnite. So they're like, hey, if we do something kind of similar to Fortnite, they already like that art style. We'll just win them over here. And it's the same basic idea. I just downloaded the PS4 data for Valhalla. For me, it did both. It downloaded the PS5 and then the PS4 version of the data, and I'm not sure why. You'd think it would only download one of them. Yeah, but with all these studios moving to Unreal Engine, it's very possible that we start to see more support from Unreal for these alternative art styles that they want to give some love. And that's the thing that gets me most excited, is that like we have the guys over at CDPR now using Unreal Engine. And if they're using Unreal Engine, it's very, very possible that Unreal is going to get the benefit of some of their tech they used on Cyberpunk, and they're going to add that to the Unreal Engine, and then they're going to add a bunch of stuff that they need for The Witcher 4 into the engine. So a lot of these benefits and tools and capabilities of the engine are going to then potentially, possibly, depending on the contracts that they signed, be shared to other studios trying to do similar stuff. And so everybody starts kind of collectively working together to improve the engine so that you can do better stuff. So it could actually end up being a really good thing for the industry, where CDPR is working with Epic Games on creating like these complex like RPG systems within the engine. And then all of these other devs that are making those types of games also reap the benefits of that. It's very, very possible. It's also possible they sign contracts that allow them to have completely like specialized stuff that they don't share, but I would guess if they signed a deal with Epic, they're probably sharing info and tech, I would assume. Unam DVD, by the way, thank you for subbing with Prime half an hour ago. Sorry, it took me a minute. And Dame W, thank you also for subbing with Prime. Appreciate you. And Barrett, thank you, Luke. I hate disappearing bodies. Let me see the carnage. That's what I'm saying, dude. Let me see the carnage. That's what I need. That's what I need. Brandon, also, thank you for 14 months. Ooh, baby. Best collector edition ever released. Ooh. Best collector's edition ever released. I mean, I don't know all of the ones that have been released. I recall... I mean, I've seen a lot of people show off their one for Death Stranding. I thought that one was a cool one because of the BB that they had in it. I like The Last of Us Part 2 one I got. Elden Rings was a little underwhelming. The Cyberpunk 2077 one was pretty cool. The statue's really good. It came with an art book as well and a bunch of other stuff. I don't think that the Lies of P one I have is technically a collector's edition. It's like a super ultra special edition one that they said they valued at like over $800. So I don't know if that one counts. And I think they only sent that to a very select few group of people. But that one is one of my favorites that they've ever done because it's like ridiculous. The Starfield one, I don't remember what the Starfield one looked like. I didn't get it. I have like a box of goodies that they sent me. It was funny. You know, this box. We were moving and I asked Jacob, I was like, Jacob, should I keep the box or should I get rid of the box? Because like, look at it. It's very cool. It's very cool. There's like nothing in it now. It's just like a box with packing stuff in it. But I was like, this box is super cool. I feel terrible just throwing it away. And Jacob looked at me and said, Luke, it's a 7 out of 10. Throw it away. I ended up keeping it. I might still end up throwing it away. I don't know. But it was pretty funny. It's like, Luke, it's a 7 out of 10. Throw it away. I was like, yeah, no, that's fair. Oh, right. It's the watch. It's the watch. That's funny. What model was the mouse that came in? The G502X. G502X. A very nice mouse. Any update on the knucklehead that did you know what? No, last I spoke to the sergeant, basically, like I was just, hey, are there any updates? Is there anything you can tell me? He just said, like, there's nothing that I can share with you right now. Which could mean that they've made zero progress and it's not going anywhere. Could also mean that they are making progress and they just aren't going to tell me, which is pretty common when they're investigating stuff. So who knows? Who knows? I don't know. But I've been asking. Can you do a tour of your shelves? Yeah, I did sort of a studio tour on the main channel. The video like got buried, but we have AC Valhalla. That's the Callisto Protocol Collector's Edition I got. I just don't have anything else to put there. Armored Core 6 Collector's Edition. This is a very, very nice Orlog set from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Like in a custom wood box, actual like stone and marble pieces. It's really, really cool. This is Cyberpunk 2077's Collector's Edition. That's Ellie from The Last of Us Part 2. This is Grandma Sue, the play button, Magic the Gathering cards. This is Knifey from High on Life. That's a living wallpaper like picture. So it like is always on forever. It's just moving and breathing and stuff. Super cool. And then this is, these are the Witcher books down there. Oh, beneath it, behind the box, I've got some other like PS4 and Xbox One games. Over here, we have like art books, guides for games and stuff. Like I have like the art books for like Breath of the Wild and Cyberpunk, a guide for LA Noire that I bought way back in the day, like right out of high school while I was playing that game. So a bunch of stuff like that. This is like an Avatar bottle that I showed off in that video. Lego Titanic, of course, collector's edition for Elden Ring. That's the collector's edition for the Order 1886. I lucked out on that one. I wanted to get it, and I looked on eBay, and it had been up for about an hour. But it was the original collector's edition from the Order 1886 that like some woman had bought for her boyfriend or something like that. And it had been sitting in her garage because they broke up like right as she bought it way back in like 2014, 15. And so she just put it in her garage, forgot about it, found it when cleaning out her garage because she was moving. At least that's what she said in the description of the item. And so then she listed it for sale. And I happened to stumble onto it like right as she listed it. So I was able to get it new in box, pristine, like it was nothing. It was ridiculous. Ignatius Pennyfeather the third, also fantastic name, and thank you for that. Dom W, greetings from Germany. Keep it up. Will do, my friend. Thank you. But that's that, and then I have the Lego pirate ship we have to build. A bunch of Warhammer stuff I have to build. This is the Lego Pyramid of Giza, just barely out of frame, and oh yeah, the Hogwarts castle right here. The cat bed. I have a Series S sitting down there. I just haven't found a place to plug it in yet. And then we have the Lego Gringotts Bank. And next to me, we were going to start building it yesterday, but we didn't get around to it. So I guess now we have to wait till, I don't know, some other time. We have the Hogwarts Express to build as well. We have lots to do. A 40k Battlefield game would be sweet. Oh, dude, for real, you're telling me. The day before, devs rebranded their studio name to 8 Points. Yeah, they went and they renamed, replaced the developer name on all their other games because they're trying to bury that they had anything to do with the day before, which is hilarious, but what are you going to do? I'm thinking about getting the Lego Pyramid. It's good. It's a really quick build. It's like probably an hour, hour and a half. It really will not take you very long. And it looks great. Looks great. You can take off the outer shell to show like the tunnels inside the pyramid. It's super cool. Super cool. Also over on Twitch, thank you, Dominican Freud, for becoming a member with Prime, or subbing with Prime. I'm getting all my terms mixed up. Appreciate you. Did you see GTA Online's latest update? They added Wildfire to Online Now, current gen. To me, it consolidated itself as the GOAT game. Really? Or not Wildfire, Wildlife. I swear can't read today. Wildlife to Online. I mean, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Who would have thought? That's crazy. I didn't know that. The day before, the day after it got removed from Steam, the day of. Yes, exactly. Oh, that day. I miss Lego games. I feel like one hasn't come out in a while. Could just be me, though. I think they've reworked it, and they're trying to go for bigger, more elaborate games instead of just quick and easy ones, which I can appreciate. So, like, they did the Skywalker Saga, I think is what it was called, just, I think, last year or earlier this year. It wasn't that long ago. But that was very good. It was all the movies collected into one. It was pretty good. There's a lot there, too. So, yeah. I want to buy some Lego, especially the Titanic, but a lot of it's really expensive. It is really expensive. The thing is, like, it is very expensive. I will not beat around the bush there. Or Complete Saga, maybe that's what it was. But it's a lot of expense. There's no doubt there. But they also are really cool conversational pieces. They're really good art and decoration for a space. And I mean, more people ask me about that Lego Titanic ship than ask me about probably anything else in the studio. So, like, just in terms of starting conversations with people, it's really, really cool. But it's still very, very expensive, without a doubt. Have I played Silent Hill 2? I have not, Steve. I have not. Heard plenty about it, but I have not personally played it. It was before my time. Yeah, Rogue 85, I totally believe that you like Lego Star Wars. I totally believe it. Got the Lego profile picture and everything. For you, it's Lego. For me, it's Hot Toys. Oh, really? That's funny. That's funny. Love the architecture sets. Well, I'm just glad that they realized that they could, like, give the older generation of Lego fans something to build instead of like little kiddie sets that are really simple. They realize they can do really complicated sets and people like them just as much, you know? What's up, Luke? What's up, Twitch chat? Nothing much, my friend. Glad to have you. We're streaming, co-streaming on Twitch and YouTube, so we got lots of people in here rocking and rolling. Lego Oppenheimer. Oh, that'd be intense. Where do they get the shelving behind me? It's all Wayfair, so it's like very cheap, but it gets the job done. And honestly, I'm happy with the quality. I think these shelves, there's 3. There's one that stops right about there and then goes over. So that's one shelf. And then another shelf that ends about there. And then there's a third one that goes just outside of range of camera. So I have 3 shelves on that back wall, and all from Wayfair. And I think they were each like $160, $180 or something. It really wasn't that much. How long is this God of War DLC? As long as you want it to be. It's one of those that I think if you are pushing on hard and really, really testing yourself, you could easily get like 10, 20 hours out of it. Some people are saying it's expected to be about 8 hours. Others are saying 30. I think it's one of those that it's just however long you want it to be. And it's a roguelike, so if you want to do multiple runs and go through it time and time again, you can do that. Because at its core, it's pretty simple. I mean, it's fighting waves of enemies that are kind of randomly generated in the same arenas as you work your way through boss fights, getting certain abilities and level ups as you go along that stay permanently, and then others that don't. And, excuse me, just working your way up. Just working your way up, you know? Oh, Jesus, Daniel. Well, there's Poggers. There's Poggers right there, Daniel. Thank you so much, my friend. Always love the content. Keep it up. Also kind of jealous about Knifey. Well, one of the coolest things about Knifey is that you can like disconnect him from his little power cable and knock over the book. And just straight up, he will stay on. And he's just always chilling. And this one is 3 of 30 ever produced. 3 of 30. Oh wait, hold on. The camera turned off. Let me swap this. Deactivate, reactivate. There we go. Like straight up. Isn't that just awesome? Isn't that great? I wonder if I can like invert it, like flip vertically. So then as I place it here, it kind of looks like it does from my perspective. Oh, but this is breaking my brain. Oh, but then it will reverse it fully. So that probably doesn't work. I'll uncheck the box. I'll uncheck the box. Don't worry. Okay. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Knifey. It's a good time. And it just stays up forever. Like, it will always do this. As long as it has power, it's going to keep doing it and just going and going. So if you just Google High on Life merch, you'll find it. I think it was through IGN. It was through like a parent site on IGN. But if you just Google that, you'll find the store and you could get yourself one of these because it's pretty cool. I hope they do this for a lot of other games. I just find this awesome. Like a living, breathing piece of art. Literally, that's super cool. Like, I'd get them for a lot more games if they had them, personally. Super cool. Power for how many years? However long you keep it plugged in. I don't know. But yeah, thank you, Daniel. That was very, very generous. Very, very generous. Thank you for the 100. Jesus. Thoughts on Wukong? Looks really good. I'm cautiously optimistic, but it's kind of an unknown studio to me, so I don't really know if they're going to be able to live up to that hype. But it looks really, really good. Everything they've shown looks great. I want one in landscape with Ryu throwing a hurricane. Oh, that would be actually really cool. They might have it on the website. Who knows? That company that does them. Imagine if he randomly spoke. That would actually be really funny. They put a speaker in it and he just randomly goes, "Hey, let me out of here." Or something, just randomly. Dude, that's the stuff for nightmares. That'd be great. That's fantastic. Oh man. What are the white books behind you? Dark Horse art books. So which ones? Like these? These right there? That is the art of The Last of Us Part 2. And then what's the official name? Creating a Champion. It's like the behind the scenes of the creation of The Legend of Zelda. So it has all of the artwork. It has all of the artwork that they did. Concept art for everything. Tons of stuff. Developers' notes on why they design things certain ways, on why certain things are degraded and have the certain level of decomposition that they do. All sorts of stuff. And then the history of the world. So like they design certain marketplaces as they would have been when the calamity first came. There we go. And then they actually degraded it after it. So they designed it as it would have been 100 years ago, and then they degraded it from there. So lots of cool stuff. And then this, of course, is just The Last of Us Part 2. Same kind of thing, all of the art. Kind of work in progress shots as they were developing the game. So if you've ever been interested in game design or how these games come to life, this is a great way of doing it because it shows the whole like early sketches and designs, and then as they kind of refined it and worked on it, how it developed from there. Like these were the designs for the original Scars, as you can see right there. You know, they I think they looked way scarier in this. I think this would have been way cooler, but they ended up going a different route with like the brown ponchos and stuff. But yeah, you can see them testing all different outfits and stuff to see what they like the look of. And all this is work that they do that never ever sees the light of day, you know? Like you just play the game and you see somebody wearing a certain outfit, you're like, okay, whatever. But somebody spent weeks thinking through all of that. You know, it's just crazy. Where you can find books like that? Amazon, Barnes and Noble, wherever you like to get books. I mean, most of them are from a company called Dark Horse. So if you just Google Dark Horse books, you'll find them. They make them for all sorts of games, probably God of War as well. So whatever your favorite game of all time is, you can get that. It supports the devs even more, usually the artists specifically. And you also get to find out some of the inner workings of why the game exists the way that it does. Why this level looks this way instead of that way. Why is this logo red instead of blue? Why, you know, all of those little things have answers, and a lot of those answers are in those books, which is super cool. It's an amazing process, isn't it? The amount of work and detail that goes into the design is insane. Yeah. It's one of those things where I always try to remind people that there's nothing accidental in game design. Everything has been put together for a purpose, and there's nothing there that is like, oh, whoops, we didn't see that coming. Like everything is there very, very intentionally, and they can explain why it was done that way. Games where they can't answer that are games like Gollum, where it's like, why is the camera angled that way? I don't know. We just had to put it there because we were running out of time. Okay. You can tell, you know, but in all of these other games that you know and love, there is an answer for every little bitty thing. And that's what I love about it, is that whether you love it or hate it, somebody thought about it and carefully considered it. Yeah. Herb Derp Muse, good to see you, my friend. Also, JP Crack, thank you for subbing with Prime over on Twitch. Do you think Steam, Dominican Freud, do you think Steam is going to take some action against the developers of the day before? I mean, so many refunds, people calling it a scam, and they're allowing it on their platform. Doesn't make sense, or doesn't that make them look bad? I think it does, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if, especially with the developers kind of running off and trying to pretend like they're just getting away. I wouldn't be surprised if Steam takes legal action. I mean, my understanding is that the developers, Fantastic, and then the publisher, Mytona, have tried to speak very openly and say that they're allowing full refunds for anybody that wants one. I don't know if that's actually true. Clearly, they've lied before. So who knows if that's actually the case. But if it is the case, awesome. Everybody gets their refunds. Everybody's happy. If it's not the case, I hope Steam goes and files legal action against them, because it's pretty clear that this was how the story was always going to end. So hopefully they do take some steps. And then Steve Sampson, apparently Insomniac got hacked and some personal information of devs, like passports and stuff. Some images of Wolverine have been leaked. I don't know if you heard about that. Might be wrong though. I heard about it. I just wasn't sure if it's all been confirmed, because I heard that the leakers were claiming that they got it. Last I heard was that there were no pictures leaked. There was nothing leaked officially. So I don't know if they were just saying stuff like, yeah, we totally hacked them. Totally did. Or if it's actually true. You know, so I'm going to wait till we actually know whether or not it happened. But this is how the Rockstar leaks happened at first as well, is that it came out, oh, somebody hacked in. This guy's saying that he hacked into GTA 6 and he has, or into Rockstar, and he has a bunch of footage for GTA 6 development and stuff. Like, he's saying that he has all this stuff. I'm like, okay, I'll believe it when I see it. And then he did release it. Okay, I believe you. Yeah, no, you clearly did hack into that and you got access to it. And these are development shots of GTA 6. Absolutely. But you know, that I don't think you should believe it until there's evidence of it. And as of right now, at least last I heard, it was just something that somebody said. Speaking of companies being hacked, Amazon had scammers add random hub centers to people's account. Check yours and remove those before you get some ordered on your card. I had 2 on mine. They had random hub centers. Really? What does that mean? Like they had added an address like as the default address or something? Like what does that mean? A hub center. GTA 6 Hacker Kid is saying that he's going to start hacking again once he gets out of jail. Yeah. I mean, what are they going to do? Like he's been sentenced and then he's going to serve a sentence. And once he's out, and he's just going to do whatever he's going to do. Clearly he doesn't feel bad. Like, and if there are some people that honestly don't really mind jail. I know it's weird, but some people really don't mind it. Watch that like 60 Days In or Scared Straight or any of those shows, and you'll see there are some people that are just like, I don't really mind it. I have a friend that works as like a correctional officer, and he said, oh no, we have like regulars where every weekend they come in, like they just get into trouble Friday night and then they come in, spend the weekend, and then they get put out. Like it's just part of their routine basically. There's some people that really don't mind it. So if he's like, I don't really mind going to jail for this stuff, and I find it really funny to be able to leak these video games, so I'm just going to do that. That's going to be my thing. Okay. That's got to be a trust fund kid. Like that's got to be a kid that has a financial like nest egg or net to catch him. Because the idea for me to like go off to jail for a year or two is like devastating. I can't even imagine like how much my life would get screwed up so quickly. Granted, I have like kids and a wife and a mortgage and stuff to pay, so it's not that simple as like being a 16-year-old kid. But like, to be that cavalier, you've got to have just tons of money from daddy ready to go, you know? Oh, we saw them all right on Reddit. It's been removed. Oh, so it is real. It is real. Okay. I mean, if you saw it on Reddit and it's real, then that sucks. That sucks that somebody did actually get access to it. Have I ever been arrested? Not arrested. I've been detained during the swatting incident with like guns to my head and a sniper down the street aimed at me. So I've had that happen, but no, I've never been arrested. Does God of War DLC add anything story-wise? Yeah, it actually does. There actually is like a whole little subplot with Kratos trying to like well, I guess if you're interested, I won't spoil it because we've been playing a couple hours of it or an hour and a half of it. But yeah, there is a story component to it for sure. So kind of cool. I played a bit of the God of War DLC and I'm very intrigued by the story, but I'm super sick, so I can't play much without feeling like death. Oh, that sucks, Justin Kevin. I'm sorry. That sucks. Like everybody I know is sick right now. Project Zomboid, I have not, and I've not gotten really into hardcore survival mode games. I think it's mainly just that I don't have the time. Like, I just don't have the time. Like, because we have to play through so many games for the main channel all the time, if I get really into one game, it is going to eat up time to get into anything else. So I basically get one game that's my leisure game at a time. And if that's chess, awesome. If that's Rogue Trader or Baldur's Gate 3 or whatever, awesome. But I basically get one. And I also like bouncing between games. You know, my mood shifts and I want to try something else. So I've never gotten like super hyper obsessed into one game. It's just not really how my brain works. Yeah, they adjusted for those Amazon pickup spots. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Oh, that's funny, Steve. It flagged your message because this is funny. So on Twitch, Steve said, have you seen or played any of the Final Fantasy 16? The game has its flaws, but Ben Starr's performance as Clive is so perfect. Blew me away. One of the best voice or VG performances, IMO, video game performances. Up there with Arthur, Geralt, Batman, etc. Because you said blew me away, it saw the term blew me and flagged your comment. And held it for review, which I find funny. So I did allow it though. So I've not played Final Fantasy 16. I am open to it. For me, it was just that there really was not much interest from my community, so I couldn't really justify making videos on it. And so I just didn't. And relatively shortly after that, I got review codes for Baldur's Gate 3, so I started working through that, and that was a big project to work through. So, yeah, it didn't line up for me, but I would be down to try it. Maybe I'll try that over Christmas break. I don't know. Jimmy Crack just gave a sub. Yes, thank you, my friend. I have been following you for a while on YouTube and your main channel and watching your streams only for about 2 months. Great work. Keep it up. Will do, my friend. Thank you. And thank you for the support. Would you recommend Baldur's Gate 3 to someone that doesn't enjoy turn-based games? I know it's subjective and ultimately depends on the person, but I just want to hear your thoughts. I mean, honestly, probably not. Like, Baldur's Gate 3 has amazing story elements, but like there are boss fights and encounters where combat, like one battle is 45 minutes or is an hour long of you fighting this one boss in this turn-based combat system. So if you don't like turn-based systems, I don't think anything's going to magically change. You might really love the RPG parts, but then you're going to get to an hour-long boss fight and you're going to be like, well, this sucks, and you're going to disconnect. And I think that's okay. If you don't like it, that's totally fine. There are some people that love turn-based stuff and hate like third-person action games, you know? So for some people, this sucks and they love turn-based games. For other people, it's the opposite, and that's fine. But I don't think you should force yourself to try and like it if you're not feeling it. Personally. Yeah, Kimbis, I think that's part of it. It is very, very tense because they just never know what's going to be the case. Like if somebody calls probably in Norway and says what they said to the police in my case, like they're probably not going to take it that seriously because they know the odds of somebody doing what the person said on the phone that I had done are pretty low. But in the US, that type of thing happens a lot. So they have to prepare and act like it's real, which is unfortunate. And I mentioned this before, but I hadn't heard of it until like a few days after everything. And but apparently when all of this happened, they also like shut down all of the schools in that county where I used to live. Like they shut down all of the schools, all the kids had to go under their desks and like they locked all the doors. They had police arrive at the school to guard it as part of this whole thing. Like they thought they were just swatting me to be funny on a stream, and instead they swatted the wrong house where an innocent person was and got all of the schools locally shut down for hours and hours. The kids are freaking out, I'm sure. All because somebody thought it'd be funny. Like it's ridiculous. It's just crazy. Yeah, live on a Tuesday. Yeah, well, I mean, this thing launched today, so I was like, let's try it, because we were gonna try it anyways. I was gonna play it off stream, so I was like, let's just stream trying it. And I'm gonna do a main channel video on it. I think we'll upload that, and I'll post that tomorrow morning. But yeah. I was like, why not try it? Why not try it here? Why do some games have more pop in it like others? State of Decay is a relatively high game that has, or a light game that has a ton of pop in. GTA Online is much heavier, but it has almost none. It just depends on, there's many parts to it. It's mostly just data management and model swap, like how you approach that. Because all games that are open world or have big maps, they'll do the thing where they have really high quality models and textures for when you're close, and low quality models and textures for when you're far away. And because they're smaller on screen when you're far away, you can't tell that it's lower quality. Video games are supposed to smoothly swap between gradations. So like really low quality, slightly better, slightly better, slightly better, slightly better, full quality, awesome. Games with really bad pop-in often struggle with those swaps, so you end up with weird kind of choppy pop-in as you get closer and closer to things. Full-on object pop-in where you just get close and then a person shows up and spawns that wasn't there before. That's just poor data management. That's just a coding and optimization issue. Like that's all that is, I think. Yeah. Is Luke good at this game? No. No. Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. What are you talking about? Let's see. Also, Steve, it's a pretty good game, I'd say. I'm not really a Final Fantasy fan, but it's quite different from Final Fantasy games. Are like, it's so slow paced, dark, brutal, and depressing. One of the main themes of the game is collateral damage effect on innocence, on war, and multiple reasons, and they showcase it brutally. It's kind of like Game of Thrones, not gonna lie, with all the politics and stuff. That's what I've heard, is that Final Fantasy 16 is basically one of those games that was probably developed primarily during the hype of Game of Thrones, right before the last season just blew it. And then they're like, well, we wrote the story and we figured out what we want to do for Final Fantasy 16, but now the hype's all gone, but we'll do it anyways. And so they doubled down on it, and it worked okay, I think, but I think it was just the marketing for the game was really off. I think people were also overwhelmed by it because a lot of Final Fantasy games can be really big, and it's a dark and dreary game in large part. And I think for a lot of people, they were just kind of exhausted by that point after playing Diablo. So they're like, oh, I just need a break, you know. But I should try it. Let's see, what's the longest you would wait for a game to come out? I mean, however long it takes. It's not. I would never get to the point where I'm like, this game has been in development for 10 years, therefore I'm not playing it. Like, if the game looks good, I'll play it. If the game looks bad, I won't. Like, I don't know. Doesn't really affect it too much. Yeah. I want to see how it sounds this out. Hold on.
Love your content. May I ask your opinion on Dodo da Bobo Bob Jub 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 da da Bobo Bob Jub Jub Jub? To me, it just sounds silly.
It does. It does sound a little silly. I'll tell you what. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Let's see. The game makes you do a little history lesson straight out of G.R.R. Martin's fantasy. Oh, really? Have I tried the Lego Fortnite mode? I have not yet. I really want to, but I've not yet. I don't know. Is it good? Is it good? It looked funny. It looked good. I might have hype brain. I'm debating pre-ordering Suicide Squad Kill Justice League. Should I wait or wait till the NDA from reviews comes out? My policy is always wait for reviews, because even preview events can be deceptive. Even alphas can be deceptive. Like, the game could be way better than it looked at in previews. It could be way worse. You just don't know. So I would say my policy is always wait till reviews come out and then decide. Pre-ordering doesn't really get you much, so I don't think it's really worth it. But that's just what I'm going to say. It's my stance. But I mean, if you played the alpha, you had a really good time. That's awesome. If you think that it looks really, really good, then that's awesome. I just, my stance is always just wait for reviews. So they're shooting for some new Game of Thrones show in my region. I applied to be an extra on the show, waiting to hear back. Oh, really, John Bon Zombie? You'll have to let us know if you get it. That'd be super fun. That'd be super fun. I actually, so I've mentioned it before, but I have a friend who was in Survivor, like on the show Survivor, pretty early on. I mean, it was like season 4, I think. And she's just hilarious. I mean, she's outrageous, but like, she was on Survivor, but she's funny because she doesn't like to talk about it. She doesn't want to mention it. She doesn't want to hear about it. She just wants everybody to shut up about it. But I've also had friends that have been on like the Wheel of Fortune. No, was it Wheel of Fortune? I think it was Jeopardy. I know somebody that was on that. And then I know somebody that was a background extra in, what is it, the Hunger Games. And then I also have done plays with a guy that, let me see if I can pull it up. Casting Jean Benet. I don't know if I can find a picture of him, but one of the guys I've done plays with was in Casting Jean Benet, which is like a big documentary special on Netflix. He's not in it very long. Yeah, I don't see him. It's okay. But he was in it. He basically, this was like a really trippy documentary where they were like, hey, we're gonna act like we're doing a documentary about the Jean Benet murders, and we're gonna try to hold auditions to cast Jean Benet and then the mother and the father, and we're gonna film the audition process. But the documentary is just that. The documentary is about the audition process, evaluating how all of these different people look at the case and feel about the case and the impact it had on them, because these are all local Colorado actors. So it's all part of the thing. It's really kind of an acid trip of a documentary. It's really, really weird. I don't know if I love it or hate it. It's really, really weird. It's a very, very weird documentary. So, oh yeah, Gustavo, I've talked about that very openly. I don't know if you saw the community post, but if you go to my main channel and look at the community post, I've talked about it very openly. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that post will do a better job of explaining everything than I can do here. But yeah, I've been very open about it. When I was 19, back in early 2017, I made a big mistake and I was a total dumbass and also a prick. Like, I'll be the first to tell you all about it. I think the post will do a better job of explaining it, though. I think, plus everybody here has already heard me talk about it. So what are you going to do? Played a dead body once. Oh, that's kind of cool. Thought it was 95. No, it was, well, I guess what? A friend on Survival For how old are they? Well, to be clear, this was somebody I can show you. This was somebody I did a play with. And so she's not like, I didn't go to high school with her or anything, but she was on Survivor. And she is one of the most hilarious people I've ever met in my life. You know, on the show, she did not come off very well, I'll say. So there's a reason she doesn't really like talking about it. But she is one of the most hilarious people I've ever met in my entire life. I mentioned this before on stream, but just in case you weren't here, for the audition for the play that we did together, it's like kind of like this. So there's the desk and the directors are on the other side of the desk. Okay. And we're all like, you know, they have people coming in at scheduled times. So it's like 10:15, 10:30, 10:45, 11. Everybody comes in and you come in at your time. You do your little monologue and you answer the questions of the directors. You hand them your resume and picture and everything, and then you leave. Like, that's it. Very, very simple. And like most people just show up, they read a quick little monologue or do their monologue, and then they move on. You know what she did? She comes in to the audition and is like super pregnant, and she's like holding her belly, walking, super pregnant, huge baby bump, looks like triplets. Okay. And the director and producers are all like, she was auditioning for like the role of Tinkerbell, okay, in like a sort of reimagining of Peter Pan. Everybody was like, are you okay? Like, she looked ready to explode, okay? And so the directors were really like, okay, this is different, but we're open to it, okay? And, you know, they ask her like, oh, when do you do? And she's like, not soon enough. She's like, okay. So she does her little monologue, does her little thing, hands the resume and headshot and everything. And then as she's like getting ready to leave, she kind of pauses and goes, oh no, and starts pretending like she's going into labor. And the director was a guy named Christopher, and the best way I can describe him as like a gay Santa Claus. He's got the huge white beard, got a big belly, and he's got the longer hair and everything. He looks like Santa Claus. And he's very flamboyant as well. And he was just like, he had no idea what to do. He was very, very uncomfortable. He's like, what? He's like, starts trying to take his phone and call 911 and like get an ambulance. And they're all freaking out. Everybody's kind of yelling and screaming. And then Gandia just goes, end scene. And she reaches in under her shirt, takes off the pregnancy belly. And it was a fake pregnancy belly. And it's like, I'm fine. I was acting. And needless to say, she was very, very memorable. So they ended up casting her and she got the part and everything. And she like, that's just who she is, where she will just do that, which anybody else would be like, that sounds crazy. I don't know if I would do that. That sounds like really risky for what payoff, you know? But she just is like, yeah, no, I'll send it. Sounds fun. I'll do it. She's just outrageous. She's very, very funny. And like I said, on the TV show, when she was on Survivor, she was definitely not a fan favorite. She, I think, was like the third or fourth person to be voted out. But yeah, she did not do super great in the show, and she doesn't like talking about it, like I said, but she is very, very funny. Very, very funny. Perfect for Tinkerbell. I mean, it was a cool, it was like a cool sort of inversion of the Peter Pan story. It was very, very different, but it was also very much like a hipster production, you know, like the standard hipster, like Portlandia. Have you seen that show? It was like a Portlandia episode, but production of Peter Pan. So yeah, it was very, very different. Very different, but it was a good time, and the show did really, really well. We have a local kind of semi-celebrity. I think it's with a Y. Yeah, I think, is this it? think this is it. Pat Stryker. I'm pretty sure this is her. Yeah. She's in FOCO. So I've like grown up in Fort Collins. This is like my home, sweet home. And Pat Stryker is a billionaire that lives here. Founder of the Bohemian Foundation, healthcare heir, has given $225 million to charity in her lifetime. Grandfather founded Stryker Corp, which sold $14.4 billion worth of medical equipment in 2020 alone. In 2016, she and her brother John Stryker gave a combined $10 million to fund the foundation. Blah, blah, blah. All this stuff. It's crazy. So like she dropped down to 2 billion in 2020 and then back up to 3 and 3.1, 3.2. So she is very, very wealthy. She's doing just fine after inheriting the company from her dad. And she was one of the patrons of that show. She came to the show and she just loved it. She loved the production and like was in talks to fund like a separate dedicated run of it. She wanted to take it all over the state and everything. Eventually the negotiations fell through, but yeah, it was funny. It was like this one little play we did that was really weird and artsy fartsy. She just casually comes in and loves it. And it could have been something big, but it just didn't end up working out. But yeah, it was crazy. Wouldn't it be a big problem if they actually called 911 before it turned out she was acting? Wouldn't it be a big problem if they call? Oh, it's the same thing. Yeah, no, it would have been a problem. Yeah, if 911 gets called and it's not an emergency, yeah. Then you have to pay the bill for them coming out, and it's like $1,200. So, yeah. Did I meet Nikki? I met Nikki in a theater class, but the Nikki and I did that Peter Pan show together. We weren't even dating at that point, but we did that show together. And it was a good time. You know, it was actually funny because Gandia, funnily enough, Gandia was actually the one, towards the end of the run of the show, she casually was like, man, I'll tell you what, everyone in this cast is in love with each other. She's like, this person has a crush on this person has a crush on Luke, Nikki has a crush on Luke, Luke has a crush on Nikki, but they don't want to talk about it. And she just goes down the list of all of like the inner working relationships of everybody in the cast. Got it exactly right. And it was one of those things where like everybody kind of looks at each other and it's like, well, the cat's out of the bag. Let's just I guess we just accept it now, you know? It was just funny. So who knows? I don't know if she helped push us together or not. I don't really recall how much of an impact that might have had, but maybe there was some. So, you know, she might have been part of the reason that we're here today, which is kind of funny. Yeah, anyway. Let's see. DK Gamer, good to see you, my friend. Glad to have you. I wonder if it stings to lose 2 billion and only have one left. I can't imagine I would care, but I'm also not a billionaire. The thing is, like, I've met a handful of billionaires like that before, and I have. The surprising thing about them is that they very rarely like talk about their portfolios or anything like that. The wealthiest people I've ever known, like they don't install their stock app on their phone. They don't look at it. They don't want to look at it because if they look at it, they might interfere. They might sell it. They might try to mess with it. So they don't. They just don't touch it. They buy it. They forget it. The really wealthy guys that have made it and are done running their own little companies and stuff and have cashed out, they go and they pay somebody like Charles Schwab to manage their money for them, and they don't mess with it because they don't want to. They're like, if it's my money and I'm messing with it, I have the emotional tie to it and I might make mistakes. I just don't want to do that. I want to ignore it. I applied to Stryker last summer. They denied my application. Oh, really? I'll make some calls. I'll make some calls. No, I don't think she remembers me or has any idea who I would be. But yeah, I've met her before. She's very, very sweet. Very, very sweet. And you would not guess that she's a multi-billionaire. You would not guess it. Yeah, you would not guess it. Very down to earth from what I recall. Favorite Lego set I own? Probably the Lego Titanic. That thing is just freaking sick, dude. Maybe it'll change once we build these other ones, but yeah, that thing is awesome. Have I played Neo 2? I played it a bit. I never finished it. I don't remember what happened. Something else came up, or maybe I was in school or something. I don't remember. But yeah, something happened. But I've played some of it, yeah. Deadlift Backs. Let's see. I love your content, man. Just ordered a Steam Deck OLED. Finally fell for it. Suppose handhelds became really good at performance, like desktop levels on long battery. Do you think they would overtake the market? I suppose they did. I don't know if they'd overtake the market. I think there's always going to be a place for like really, really high quality, high performance games that people play on bigger displays in comfy seats and chairs in their gaming dens. I think that'll always be a thing. I wouldn't see them overtake it. Maybe in some markets you could see it, just like how in certain areas of like China, mobile gaming is like 90% of the market by user base versus console or PC. So maybe in some areas it would, but I think broadly, probably not. But I think they're going to continue to get more and more popular. Parsa, if I played the alpha, I wouldn't be able to say that I played it, and I wouldn't be able to talk about what I thought about the alpha. So if I played it, I wouldn't be able to say yes. But if I didn't play it, I'd probably just tell you that. So I guess you can put 2 and 2 together. The camera I'm using is the Sony FX30. Sony FX30. It is a cinema camera that does 4K 60, and it is wonderful. The reason you have to do that is because if you do 4K on a regular camera, it's going to overheat, and after like half an hour of streaming, it's going to shut itself off, which is the problem I ran into with my old cameras when we tried to do 4K. So this one actually has active cooling instead of passive cooling. Since it's a cinema camera, it's meant for video, not pictures. So as a result, you get a fan inside the camera that actually cools it down, and that helps a lot. Yeah, and Sony's autofocus is crazy. It's crazy. Like the eye tracking that they do, it's ridiculous. Did you think Tears of the Kingdom was just a bit too big? I thought everything in it was cool, but I couldn't take how big it was, and I haven't played it since. For me, well, kind of similar. I don't know if it was the scale or if it was just that it was kind of samey. I just kind of burnt out on it. After like 50, 60 hours or something like that, I just kind of burnt out. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. I don't think I need to play anymore. That's all it was. Like, it was surprising to me that I burnt out, but yeah, I kind of had something similar happen where I played it a bunch and I was having a great time, and then one day I was just like, I think I'm good, and I put it down. And that's not what I felt with Skull and Bones, or not Skull and Bones, with definitely not Skull and Bones, with Breath of the Wild. Where did I get Skull and Bones from? I don't know. Okay. It's like a subconscious thing. My brain is like, no, you love Skull and Bones. You want to play it. But yeah, with Breath of the Wild, I put like 120, 130 hours into it or something without skipping a beat. Like just easily marching my way up to 100 plus hours. And I didn't at all feel fatigued at all. I could have kept going. But with Tears of the Kingdom, I reached like 50, 60, and I was like, I think I'm good. I don't know. I'm in my mid-20s, 40 hours a week. I live for the 12 to 20-hour games these days. Big open world titles are scary these days. Oh, I totally get you. Just call me Canada. It's one of the most intimidating things about like Baldur's Gate or about a game like Diablo 4. You know, it's just like there's so much to do, dude. So much. I bought Tears of the Kingdom a bit too fast after finishing Breath of the Wild. Just finished that game last year. Then starting a similar game felt too much. Yeah, and they're very similar. Like for me, it had been like 5-6 years. I guess 6 years. So I had it had been a good enough break for me. But I am sure if you had just finished it and then went straight into it, it would be like This is a bit too much. This is a bit too much. It's just the same thing. It's the same damn thing. Let's see, do this. Okay. Well, boys and girls, I think what we're gonna do is we are going to adjourn. I'm gonna film the main channel video, and then we're going to be back. We'll see about tomorrow. Tomorrow, Lachlan has his appointment at the children's hospital for his arm. He has like a thing that they have to cut off. Like it was like a little mole, and they're worried that it could turn into something else. So he's going to have that evaluated. And I don't know how long that's going to take, because the children's hospital is like 45 minutes to an hour away, and that's in the morning. So I'm not sure when we'll stream tomorrow. If we do, fingers crossed it is tomorrow. But if not, we'll be back later, and everything will be good. So we'll just keep rocking and rolling. Hope your kid's okay, mate. Oh yeah, no, Ori's doing really well. The one that was sick and in the hospital is doing really well. Lachlan, he had this mole removed. It was not really a big deal. They just, numbed it, took it off. It was fine, but he kept like picking at it and pulling at it and scratching it. It was just clearly very uncomfortable for him. So they recommended to take it off. So they took it off, but they did the little testing, and whatever type of mole it was, it has the potential in the coming years to turn into something you don't want it to turn into. So they said that they'd recommend just excising that area, which is like they cut a little football shaped slice out of the arm and then sew it together so that it's just a straight line scar right there. But they said that's the safest way to deal with it, where you just won't have to worry about it ever again. But for that, because he's only 2 years old, it has to be through the children's hospital. So it's like, it's one of those where they're like, he'd probably be okay if you just left it. But I'm like, I don't like probably. I would like you to tell me he would be okay. I don't want probably, okay? Like, I don't know how I'd live with myself if I went off of probably and then something bad happened. And it's like, I could have fixed it. I could have dealt with it. So we're gonna try to get it sorted. And by the time it's done and healed, it should be like an inch, not even an inch, probably like half an inch scar that is just a straight little line on like his forearm right there. And so it shouldn't be a problem. It's just getting it done is the tricky part, because understandably, a lot of doctors are very nervous when operating on 2-year-olds. So you got to be cautious, but that's why we're going to like the best place in the state. But anyway, yeah, I got one of those on my leg. Yeah, I'll watch. Yeah. Just get ahead of it. Like with this stuff, especially skin stuff, my family, on my mom's side, has a history of skin cancer and problems with that. The number one thing is just preventative stuff. Go into a dermatologist, just have them look at everything. They'll take notes, they'll offer advice, or if there is a problem, they'll figure it out quick. It's just a matter of dealing with it before it becomes a problem, That's the biggest thing. It's just a lot of people are like, I don't want to go to the doctor because I'm worried what might happen. And you can't think like that. You just go deal with it, fix the problem as quickly as you can, and, move along. That's how you do it. So anyway, much love, everybody. We'll be back, and stay safe. I love you all dearly, and I'll see you very, very soon, okay? Much love. I'll see you then. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.